Get nasty on a Monday. It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, and Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. 2:02, your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Here's how you can get a hold of us today. Air Comfort Service text line is open, 314-399-9646. Our Air Alliance team YouTube chat, affectionately known as the Snake Pit, alive and well, going on. Feel free to pop in there. Talk about anything that we're discussing throughout the day. You can also leave us a mic drop if you want. A Scott Lee Heating Company mic drop via the Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's 101 ESPN mobile app. Plenty of cards talk today, but we'll dive into different areas of sports and debauchery. Probably about 5 o'clock. We'll probably get into some
debauchery like that
weird
word?
things. Yeah, absolutely. But let's do our exit survey. Cardinals Rangers exit survey. The Cardinals dropped the series. They lose 2 of 3 games over the weekends. Your biggest storyline, Jamie Rivers?
For me, biggest storyline was you've been very reliant upon good defensive baseball to play well, and you didn't have that this weekend.
What?
There were lots of little things, some big things. It just wasn't the same defensive team, and it cost you. You can talk about pitching, and we will. We'll talk about the bullpen. We'll talk about Leahy, your guy. Carey, you love him. What?
That's it.
But I think for me, it's a couple weeks ago, some of the national pundits were like, is the Cardinals, is it sustainable? Because right now they're playing team defense at a historical clip right now. And they were. And if it's not going to be that, can they win games? So for me, that was my biggest storyline is, are they starting to leak, and we're seeing it now?
Carey?
I mean, you gave up 19 runs, you only scored 4. That to me is, and granted, squeezed in there, but sandwiched in between, you gave up 0 for one game, which is what we have come to expect. But giving up 19 runs in those first and third games combined is it's a little bit concerning trend. I think I don't think that that's great. No. And obviously not scoring enough runs to win those games. So, yeah, that to me was my biggest takeaway. I don't know what happened. Maybe it's just a blip on the old radar. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's something coming down the pipeline. I don't know. But I didn't like it. Didn't like it at all.
Marsh, your biggest storyline from the Rangers-Cardinals series?
Just the lack of offense, like Carey just mentioned, the amount of runs that you scored. Like, this is a team that has shown that they can score a lot of runs. And the fact that you lose this series to a Texas Rangers team that was below 500 heading into this series, and they're still below 500, I think that's a team that you need to beat because you're playing some good teams this upcoming month. You have some good matchups, including the one that we're about to see here starting tomorrow against Kansas City. It's, they need to get their stuff together and real quick.
So mine is kind of similar to yours, Marsh. The Rangers going in, we had all the statistics going into the weekend about how the Rangers offensively weren't very good. I mean, they had been really struggling. But the biggest storyline to me is that the Rangers found their bats in 2 of those 3 games. Marcus Semien has not been good at all, and he had a monstrous Friday night against the Cardinals. I mean, he took the Cardinals pitchers behind,
he had a
on
great
top,
game
underneath,
too.
behind the wood. Yeah, yesterday he had another good one.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, I think the Cardinals, perhaps, the Rangers are very talented. They're better than what their record, talent-wise on the roster, they're better than what the record would indicate. So I just think the Cardinals ran into a Rangers team that woke up for a weekend. It's unfortunate. I'm not making excuses. The pitching wasn't good enough. The offense, as Marsh and Carey alluded to, that wasn't good enough either. He didn't play well outside of that Saturday game where Sonny Gray dominated, and we'll get to him in a second. But to me, the biggest storyline was that the Rangers' bats came alive at the wrong time. But for you guys, biggest kudos. To me, it's Sonny Gray.
Yeah,
it's Sonny Gray.
I think that's the only kudos.
Saturday, you tip your cap to him. He had an outstanding game. He's 6-1 now. Pitched 7 innings, only allowed 4 hits. Like, that's the performance you want from your ace. No earned runs, no runs allowed. I'm tipping my cap. 10 strikeouts. Like, we talk about swing and miss with this staff a lot. He had some of that stuff, and he had an outstanding performance. Wish you could have got that for the other 2 games from the starting pitchers, but Saturday from Sonny Gray was outstanding.
Man, that sweeper that he had was just it was working. That was his out
It's been
pitch.
a couple of games now he's had.
Definitely that sweeper. He threw some change-ups that were nice. I mean, he had a lot of breaking balls that was set up to be his out pitch in that game. So I agree. It's got to be Sonny Gray. I don't think. I mean, you can maybe look at some of the individual performances and say, hey, that you get a kudos. Like Brendan Donovan had a excellent catch over the weekend where he's sky high for it, but otherwise it's got to go to Sonny Gray. Biggest criticism, Jamie?
Bullpen. Sorry. On the games where you got absolutely annihilated, your bullpen blew up. Graceffo gave up 4. Leahy gave up, 4 or 5?
Yeah, that was kind of a weird outing.
It's not, you can't win like that. And when Leahy went in, I believe it was a 2-1 ball game.
It was.
Everybody's talking about Eric Fetty. Fetty wasn't great. If you're not going to strike people out, you can't walk them. Mm-hmm. Okay? So he wasn't great, but when he left the game, it was a 2-1 ball game.
He kind of figured out, once he gave up the 2-run double, he settled in. I mean, he did go 6 innings. He allowed 4 hits, the 2 runs, did have 3 walks, but I thought he battled for the most part.
So that's the word I'm looking for. He battled. But that was all his own doing. Mm-hmm. Like, I felt like there were runners on base every inning.
Sure.
It wasn't a Picasso.
It wasn't clean.
But when he left the game, it was 2-1.
Yep.
A very winnable game for your club if the bats come alive and the bullpen does their job.
Right.
And they didn't.
Leahy gave up 1, Matz gave up 1, and Munoz gave up 2 in that 8-1 loss yesterday.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't mean Leahy gave them all up.
Right. Yeah,
Leahy came in and then...
He gave up the 1,
yeah.
Right.
Criticism would be pitching for the games you lost. Liberatore had a rough outing on Friday. He had 7 hits, 4 earned runs, and then it spiraled out of control with the rest of the bullpen after that. And then Sunday, Jamie, you just hit on it. Fetty kind of stabilized some things, went out when it was 2-1, but the bullpen still was unable. Steven Matz is a guy that I've talked about all year long and how good he's been. His 3 runs, only 1 earned, but still just not good enough for the entire pitching staff, in my opinion, for the weekend. Other than Sonny Gray, everyone else, as the kids say, mid.
I won't go down the pitching route, but you got to be better with runners in scoring position. 2 for 19 over the weekend. Not good enough. So we'll leave it at that. It is a bad weekend for the Cardinals for run differential, but they have a chance to change things starting tomorrow. And you got to start playing good baseball because, I mentioned it earlier, playing Kansas City, and then you have Carey's Dodgers. That's a good team. So it's a new month, right? May was a great month for the Cardinals. Mm-hmm. It's June now. Things change, Mox.
Just starting quarterback now.
Yeah.
I'm with you, Marsh. The runners in scoring position, that was a theme all weekend. I don't even know if you improved just slightly if you wind up taking 2 of the 3 with the way Texas was swinging the bats against you, but that was ugly, so that deserved criticism. But I think the biggest question moving forward now, Marsh just laid it out. April was rough. Toward the end of April, you started playing better. That carried over to May, and you had that torrid May. You're 33-26 following this series. You only have 1 day off, I think, the entire month of June, which was today, or maybe only 1 or 2 days off. They got a weird schedule in June. So are you more April? Are you more May? Are you a combination of the two? Because we all started to talk about this team being a NL Central contender. Mm-hmm. That can go away in a hurry.
It's starting to leak now.
If you erase what you did in May because you have a bad June. So that's my biggest remaining question now, following the Texas series. Are you going to start to give away some of your May performances back? Do you guys have different questions?
No, who are you? Like, what version of this team are you? I don't think they're as bad as they were in April. I feel like they're as good as they have been or can be as good as they were in May, but are you able to sustain that? Like, that's the most, one of the toughest things I think in sports and being a professional athlete is when you have success, the only reward you get a pat on the back and they say, okay, do it again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, do it again. In fact, do it again, but a little bit better.
Yeah, do it better than you just did it. Oh, that was the best. Nope, yeah, I need more. And it's always, I need more. And some players can continue to build on it. Some players stay the same, and some players, regress. So it just really depends on how this team and what this team is. I think that's the biggest question for me.
Yeah, my biggest question is, and we're starting to see it a little bit, not a lot, but can they stay healthy? They've been a really good team this year, and they've been very fortunate. Jordan Walker hits the IL here, 10-day IL. We don't know how serious that is, but they've played a lot of baseball, and they've had good health so far overall. So for me, I'm just wondering if they can keep that going, or if all of a sudden the injury bug hits the team, what happens?
My biggest question, and it kind of goes with the is this team legit question, is what do they look like in this next week? How do they respond after a weekend like this? Do they have that within this group to respond? I hope so, because they have a big test ahead of them starting this week. And can they replicate June? Can they replicate May into June? Can they do that? That's my biggest question, and it starts tomorrow.
It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. We will assess the Cardinals throughout the first 2 months of the season. We got some questions that have been laid out for us in terms of, like standout players so far, things like that. So we'll get to those next on 101 ESPN. I can't tell you, employer even more, to head out to Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum. They've got over 1,000 new and used vehicles all in one spot, right off I-55 and McNutt Herculaneum. You don't have to have any sort of scavenger hunt when it comes to Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum. You know the types where you go out to dealerships, and after looking at their online inventory, you ask the dealership about a certain make and certain model, the exact car that you want to look at, and they don't have it there because it's at another lot or it's in a different county or whatever. Not at Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum. And right now, during the summer Nissan sales event, you can score 0% APR for 60 months on both the 2025 Nissan Rogue and the 2025 Pathfinder. That's big-time summer savings on 2 American-made and Terra-free SUVs. Plus, all new Nissans come with a lifetime warranty and a 30-day return promise. Peace of mind that is only at Auto Centers Nissan. Check them out online at autocentersnissan.com. When you head out to Herculaneum, tell them Stalter sent you. It's Auto Centers Nissan. It's all here. It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Let's assess the Cardinals through the first 2 months of the season. We know April, shaky until the end. May, excellent. And June has started off, at least the Cardinals are 1-1, but we're June 3rd right now. So let's assess the Cardinals through the first 2 months. Marsh, I know you got some questions for us.
Yes. Are you ready,
Fire
gentlemen?
away.
All right. Who is your standout player so far for the Cardinals through the first 2 months of the year?
Fellas, if I may,
Sure.
Brendan Donovan, I'll say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. All right.
Yep, I have Brendan Donovan written down as
I
well.
don't think that was difficult.
No.
He's been outstanding.
Sitting 375.
He's pretty good.
Not bad for a utility player.
I mean,
What the French?
I mean, yeah, he is.
I know.
Some people would say.
Utility
Jamie
player.
definitely says that. So just like Jamie thinks all shortstops have to lead off, he believes that anybody that plays multiple positions are utility players.
Well, what would you call them then?
I would call them.
Because you call Brendan Donovan a utility player.
I didn't call him that. You called Mookie Betts that nice.
No, I didn't.
I disagree
You called
completely.
Brendan Donovan. You said you're not going to pay a utility player that kind of money. And so then I said, well,
I don't think we
Mookie
gotta
Betts
check
plays
tape.
more than one position.
Yeah, check the tape.
I know I'm right on this one. I'm not right a lot, but I know on this one I am.
Yeah, check the tapes.
Mookie Betts is hurt.
What?
Oh,
It doesn't count.
at all.
Well, now he's. Imagine that.
Playing too many positions.
That's why you don't pay a utility guy. Those guys get hurt. No, it's got to be Brendan Donovan. I said 375. He's hitting 323. On
I was
base
gonna
is
say
383.
375 sounded hot.
323. He's hitting 383 on base, 461 slug. He's got 4 home runs on the year. He's driven in 24. Brendan Donovan has been.
It's been great.
Your most consistent hitter. He has been, dare I say, the MVP of your team through the first 2 months of the season. He is your standout player. I agree.
Yep.
So moving on from that, biggest surprise so far. Is Brendan Donovan that guy as well, or is there
No,
somebody
not for
else that
me.
comes to mind?
Who you got?
3, 2, 1. Want to do it?
Well, I don't know. Are you thinking of an individual player?
I am.
Oh, no. Then no.
Okay,
Go
all
ahead.
right.
Yeah.
Who
Go
you
ahead,
got?
Jamie.
Matthew Liberatore. Biggest surprise. He wasn't even supposed to be in the rotation. All of a sudden, we get spring training, and Mo says he's going to go in the rotation. And he's been, next to Sonny Gray, your best pitcher.
Yep.
You'll hate when I do this, but I'm not going to do what you think I'm going to do. I'm just going to name one.
Here we go.
Victor Scott.
Victor Spot. He's your surprise.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good one.
They didn't even. Yeah, they were like Michael Ciani is going to split
Why
time.
would we not like that pick, Carey?
Yeah.
Well, I was going to give you multiple picks, and I know you don't like it when I do
well,
that.
no, because you run through half the roster, and
Well,
then
damn it, it's my choice.
like
yeah,
at
but you
some
take
point, you're right.
some of the other options from us.
Duh.
I know.
That's the point.
But we're asking a
How you doing?
singular.
I'm Carey. Nice to meet you.
All right, Carey.
I like to be right.
Carey has such soft hands.
Now, is this an individual player, Marsh?
It can be anybody from the organization.
So I actually wasn't even thinking of an individual. I was just thinking the team's early success. I did not.
That doesn't qualify.
Now, we don't like that.
No.
Okay, then 3, 2, 1. Matthew Liberatore.
Liberatore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I have to go individual, it's absolutely Matthew Liberatore, who I did not see staying in the starting rotation for very long after spring training. But he's completely
That was
surprised
his
in the
last
best
start,
of
though.
ways. Not great. Not great. He ran into a. Well, they weren't even red hot, but they looked good that night.
It happens.
But Matthew Liberatore, I think, is the biggest surprise outside of the fact that we're talking about a Cardinals team being a lot better than anybody thought.
So you're not surprised that they're playing better? Really, that's not your answer?
Team-wise, yes. Individual, Liberatore.
All right, this one might be easy. Biggest disappointment thus far?
Go ahead, Carey.
Are we on the same page?
I don't think so.
You don't have a person?
I do, but I don't know if we're in lockstep here.
Nolan Gorman.
Okay.
That's not where you were?
Oh, he's a different answer.
I have a different answer.
That's not a bad one.
Nolan Gorman.
Okay.
It's been, and I mean, opportunities have not been, he hasn't had as many opportunities as I'm sure he would like or the Cardinals would have liked had they been able to trade Nolan Arenado. But for me, Nolan Gorman, because he's got, one home run this year? Mm-hmm. He's supposed to hit 35. That's what I was told.
Yeah.
And I'm going to blame
Whoa,
you.
holy smokes. You got some fire on that.
I just thought about this because
Coffee's kicking in.
Yep.
It is. It just.
Jeez.
I was mild and medium, and now I'm ready to roll. You told me
Yeah.
He's
that
pointing at you.
it's
too.
okay to strike out because this is the new age of baseball as long as you hit home runs.
I did not say that.
Anthony, that's a dumbass idea.
I remember that, too.
You said the true outcomes, two true outcomes. You either hit a home run or you strike out. Nobody gives a damn about batting average.
I know I didn't say
You literally
that.
told me nobody gives a damn about batting average 2 weeks ago.
I remember that.
I didn't say nobody gives a damn about a batting
Nobody gives
average.
a damn about a batting average.
I said there's other
Are
metrics.
you slugging? What's your exit velo and what's your FIP? I don't even. That's fielding independent.
You know what you're doing? You know what you're doing right now? You're projecting.
I'm picking my
No,
comments.
you're projecting because you're looking at me right now as the face of analytics.
You are.
How?
I see you, and you talk to me about FIP, and I'm like, I don't even understand
WRC
it.
plus.
This
all
is
that
just
stuff.
Plus
information. I'm
100.
giving you more information.
You're 100 over, and I'm like, how do they get these numbers? You're like, I don't know, but it looks good, and
I
you
don't
go
know,
with
math.
it. There you go. And you talk about people and these numbers, and I don't give a damn. Did he hit the ball or not?
a good
And you
point.
told me it doesn't matter if he hits the ball all the time, long as he hits it over the dang on
But he's
fence.
got to hit it some of the time.
Over the fence, he says. Over the fence, he says. This guy isn't even hitting it over the fence.
Stop playing.
How can you hit it over the
He's not hitting
fence?
it over the fence.
He's not playing.
Because he's not hitting it over the fence.
Then he
The
shouldn't be
chicken and the
playing.
egg. Which one came first?
I did not say half the things that
You said half of them.
I haven't said 75% of the things that you just accused
Anthony,
me of.
Come on now.
Have you guys heard of that story about Derrick Henry?
Yeah, Jamie told us a couple weeks ago.
That's a
No,
good story, wasn't it?
my biggest disappointment, and Carey's not going to like this at all. See, Nolan Gorman to me is a bench player.
Oh, you watch your mouth.
Jordan Walker's my
You-
biggest disappointment.
Oh, you
Jordan
watch
Walker.
your mouth. You, Anthony, if you wanted to get it started today, you're
Yeah.
on the right track.
Nah, he's hitting 215. Is that good?
What's your biggest disappointment?
Jordan Walker.
Yeah, that's me too.
Thank you.
Yeah.
65 WRC plus.
Just gonna he was at 35 2 weeks ago. We were gonna discredit what he's done in the last 2 weeks.
No, but if we're assessing the first 2 months of the season,
on, man.
he's my biggest disappointment.
Man, you guys.
All right, now that we worked that out, gentlemen, what areas of the team?
No, you guys did a great job.
No, Carey just accused me of saying stuff I didn't say.
Anthony, you did say some of those.
Definitely did
You
say
did.
it.
I didn't say
Nobody
ba-
cares
no, I didn't
about
say nobody
batting average.
You care about batting average,
and
so
you said
I wouldn't have
nobody
said
else
that you
cares
don't
about it.
care.
You said
Okay.
you're by yourself.
Listen,
I said
gentlemen.
that batting average is not the best measure for an offensive player.
I don't know. If you hit the ball or you didn't, it kind of tells the story, doesn't it?
It does. It really does. Now, I do remember that conversation, and you did start to say some things because it was getting heated a little bit. And he said something about batting average regarding Nolan Gorman, and you said, I don't care about his batting average if he hits 30 home runs.
Right.
So, but you said it, but he just twisted it when he said
That makes more sense. Okay.
That's
Now
all.
it's starting to come back to me. Honestly, now that you say it that way, I definitely said the
That's
right
how I
He said
word.
he strikes out, and you said, I don't care if he hits home runs.
Got it.
So it's, yeah.
He doesn't
Context.
care about batting average, is what I heard.
Carey?
The hell are you guys
Carey?
talking about?
Carey,
Context died today. Mark it down, Marsh. 226.
the day
Context
Carey
is
Davis
dead.
killed context.
Yes. Whatever. All right, go ahead.
How would you guys rate Ali Marmol in the front office? 1 out of 10.
Oh, boy.
What would you give him?
I'm giving him Ollie or front office. Are we
Let's
separating
go
those?
Ollie first.
Yes.
I would give Ollie a 7.5.
Wait,
Can we give halves?
we should do it. We should do it. Is it 1 out of 10 we're doing?
Yeah, 1 out of 10.
So I always like to do this. I take the sport and we give it like or stars or how many stars would you give it? How many baseballs would you? How many balls would you give Ollie?
I would hope.
Would be 7
How
balls?
many-
7.5 balls.
7.5 balls.
Okay.
Seems high and unnecessary, but 7.5.
But that's how you feel.
Yeah.
You, Anthony?
I would give Ollie 7 balls.
Okay. Marshy?
I wrote down 7 balls.
Yeah, I'm right there too. Pretty average. You
7
know,
balls?
6.5, 7 balls.
Above average.
Yeah, it's above average, but it's just Cardinal Nation. We
Okay.
expect more balls.
Okay.
Okay, how many bow
play.
ties would you give the front office?
See, Marshy gets it.
I give him 8.
What?
I'm giving him 8.
For what? He didn't do anything.
Exactly. Nothing needed to be done.
Well, hold on here.
you got to know when
What
to
did he
hold
do?
them, know when to fold them. Know
What
when
did
to
he
walk
draft?
What?
The front office.
What?
Who did they draft?
Well, all of these players almost.
Matthew Liberatore. That trade looks a little better now,
Well,
huh?
yeah.
They moved Wilson Contreras to first. I thought it was a terrible idea.
Yep.
I was wrong. That has worked out well.
All right. So you give him 8 bow ties?
I give him 8 bow ties. I think he's done a fantastic job.
Now, we know who the Mo lover is around here.
I've said it. I said it last week. Didn't get as much hate as I thought I would.
Based on what we're saying, how we do, I would go 6 bow ties.
Why?
Because it's just slightly above average. Because even though we talk about the drafted players, there's not one superstar on the team right now.
And yet they are second in the division.
Yeah.
Over 500.
I'm sorry.
Playing outstanding.
I'm sorry
That's my opinion.
that you don't like my answer, Carey.
I didn't say I didn't like it.
No, you did. You questioned it immediately, just like you went after my partner over here, Anthony,
He
earlier.
deserved it.
6 bow ties. Final answer.
I'm going to go 7 bow ties. No, 6.5 bow ties. Yeah, 6.5.
You guys are
Okay.
You guys are harsh.
The position players I really like. The pitching has been much better than I thought. I'll go 6.5.
And I wrote down 7 bow ties. 7 bow ties. Final question. What grade would you give this Cardinals team right now?
B+. Given the team's unexpected performance, they're competitive. B+ reflects a strong start and potential for success. Yet, it's not an A because I still have some questions about work ethic and their ability to sustain this.
I will give him a B.
And not to say that the players don't work hard. I'm using that as like they're a student.
Yeah.
And I worry about their
Anthony doesn't
behavior.
like
Questioning the
sometimes
work
it
ethic of
fades.
the Cardinals.
ethic.
Make sure we send that out on a social post, please.
Ollie already heard it. He's already pissed at me.
I give him
It's
a
all
B.
of us.
Yeah.
I'm right there with Carey P.
Okay.
B+ is what I wrote down, Anthony.
Nice.
We're in the same camp. Except for I actually do like their work ethic. Like it a lot.
I just said questionable work ethic. Okay.
Oh, that's much better.
I question it moving forward. This student has been known to not always take their work home and practice at home and then come back.
I feel like you've heard this before.
I did not. I didn't get a B+.
Now, you tried, though. You tried to make your own B+.
Well, there you go. Yeah, that is accurate.
Well, Anthony, not everybody has somebody doing their work for them.
That's very true. Very true. Yeah, Jamie was a smart one. He figured that out. All right, Marsh has got what's trending for you next on 101 ESPN.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Cardinals fall to the Rangers yesterday, and they lose 2 of the 3 in Texas. They're off today, but they'll take on the Kansas City Royals tomorrow. Michael Lorenzen on the mound for the Royals. Andre Palante on the mound for your St. Louis Cardinals. First pitch tomorrow will be at 6:45. Also over the weekend, City SC picked up a 2-1 victory over San Jose, and the Battlehawks defeat the DC Defenders 13-8 and finish off the year with an 8-2 record as they head into the playoffs. We have What's Trending coming up next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
What are the hot topics in the sports world?
What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
It's time to find out with
What's Trending? Brought to you by Elite Comfort Experts. Heating and cooling with no gimmicks, just guarantees. EliteComfortExperts.com.
Welcome back to the Fast Lane here on 101 ESPN with Anthony Stalter, Jamie Rivers, and Carey Davis. I'm Andrew Marsh, and it's time for What's Trending. Gentlemen, it seems like whenever you fire a head coach and you get a new one here in St. Louis, your team goes on a run. Yeah. And City SC won a game. What? 2-1 this weekend, Anthony, over your San Jose Earthquakes.
Oh,
how you feeling
San
about
Jose.
it?
Come on,
how you
man.
feeling about it?
I don't like the Earthquakes. Can't name one damn player on the Earthquakes. Not a one. Here's the thing. They scored 2 goals, huh? Basically like scoring 20 if you're City SC this year. Am I right?
Yes. Yes. Completely uncharacteristic.
So I don't know what they did tactically to figure out how to put that ball in that net that is the size of a very large college. But, hey, good to see.
They shot it.
It's good to see.
They shot
I don't think it's that big. It's probably like the size of CMU.
Come on, man. That thing's huge.
About the size of CMU, Anthony.
CMU's a decent-sized campus.
How many students?
I can't remember. I was just one of many, Marsh.
The most important one.
No, I wouldn't say that. I
No?
wouldn't say that. No.
I don't think there's anybody else that is famous that came out of CMU, right?
See what you're doing. See what you're doing. I don't like it, okay? Antonio Brown went to CMU. Thunder Dan Marley went to CMU. Number 1 overall pick Eric Fisher went to CMU. Okay.
Didn't J.J. Watt go there, too?
J.J. Watt went there for a year.
Why'd he leave?
CMU told him they want him to play defensive end instead of tight end. He told him to go chase themselves. He went to Wisconsin. Wisconsin told him to be a D end, and that's what he was. And got drafted first round pick. Fire up Chips. They did.
Started with the
stories.
Chips.
It's a true stories. It's Tight End
believe it.
Central. They're like, hey, you know what you could do? You could be a monster defensive end. He goes, blank you. Walk down Wisconsin. Wisconsin's like, hey, we think you could be a massive defensive end. He goes, okay. I think it all worked out for him.
It worked out well.
Seems to be fine.
Yep.
He'll have a jacket here shortly.
Yeah.
Gold one.
That's what we
But
should.
never forget where you started.
That's right.
Wonder if the Chips will get mentioned in the acceptance speech.
I hope so. I hope so. Yeah.
You might throw him under the bus, but
Those damn coaches told me to play DN. Lo and behold, so did Wisconsin, and they were right.
I could actually see him saying that, though.
I only listen to Wisconsin, but
Yeah. Guys, Jack Caglione, he is Major League Baseball's number 10 prospect. He has officially been called up to the big leagues for the Kansas City Royals, and we will probably see him here in St. Louis make his debut. Do you think a lot of people will head down to Busch Stadium to watch this ginormous person play baseball? Have you seen this guy? He's huge.
is he why isn't he an offensive tackle?
Because he can hit.
What'd you say, 6'7"?
baseballs.
6'5", 250.
6'5", 250, Carey.
That's a
That's a
linebacker.
guard. 6'5", 250? Oh, yeah, he's probably a little light.
Light in the
Yeah.
backside for a guard.
Guard's got to be, what, 290?
Yeah, bare minimum.
If not 3?
Yeah.
3 bills?
310, 320.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That's a big linebacker, though.
And that's a
250?
line, yeah. DN linebacker.
That's a run stuffing.
It's a DN linebacker.
Yeah.
I'm sure I faced some, maybe not 6'5", 6'4", but yeah.
That's a big
That's
dude.
man.
It's a
It's a
big
large human.
Large human is right. Yeah. No, I think they'll probably go to watch Shohei Ohtani this weekend.
What's he do?
Oh, the utility player that the Dodgers
utility
have?
player one of many utility players that the Dodgers have.
Some people say he is a stat patter.
Yeah, he just pats the stats. That's right. He waits until the later innings, then he hits home runs.
Or the first pitch of a game.
Either way,
Yeah.
sometimes you get lucky.
Did you see the Washington Nationals and Arizona Diamondbacks game the other day with Brandon Pfaadt on the mound? Where
I
they
saw
scored like
something.
10 runs in the first inning.
Before the first out or
That
something.
happens.
Before the first, I think it was 9-0 before the first out was
Yeah.
made. Could you imagine going to that baseball game and wanting to leave after, I don't know, the first out was
Imagine being late to that game.
made?
Yeah. I'm here.
Middle of the first, like, what the hell just happened?
Yeah, you're looking at your phone to see what happened, knowing your tickets are terrible now.
If you were late to that game and you are watching it on your phone or keeping track of it on your phone and you see that it's 10-0, give or take in the first inning, do you just turn around and go home?
No.
Or do you actually still go to the game?
You go.
Who are you
have
rooting
some
for?
drinks.
Yeah, that totally depends.
Let's say you're an
But even
Arizona
then,
fan.
it's so far out of reach.
Yeah.
That's rough.
Yeah. Just go enjoy the beverages.
Because that's the one thing that you do like about a sporting event is that no matter what the case, like, you love your team, you want your team to win, but you always want to see a good game. Or if it's a blowout like that, like you want to be there from the beginning of the blowout to celebrate it with your buddies. Like,
Right.
To miss it is
but to show up to the
Disheartening.
game when it's already 10-0,
You're like, what?
I feel like I've missed.
That's right.
Like, how
the
much?
entire all the action.
The only thing we're left to see is we're going to see a position player pitch.
Yeah.
We got a text from slide tackling Tyler. They were calling that game the first ever yes hitter because he recorded no outs and gave up all base runners.
That's a no-hitter. That's pretty creative. That is pretty creative. All right, it's Fastlane on 101 at ESPN. That's what's trending. Which Blues players got votes for the Selke Trophy? We'll tell you next on 101 ESPN. And you may want to start firing up the old arguments text because one of the players you probably won't agree with. That's next on 101 ESPN. I love working with Mosby Building Arts. They're fantastic. We had them out to the house back in February, and it was a situation where it wasn't a fun remodel like a kitchen or a bath. And by the way, they do both. It wasn't a situation where we're just getting new doors replaced. It was getting new doors, and they spotted a problem for us that was causing issues in our basement. Water would come in after a heavy rain, and after I try to work around the problem and try to solve it myself, we had other contractors come out and they were all the same. They're like, yeah, just replace the doors and you're going to be fine. Mosby was the only company that said, yeah, well, you'll need to replace the doors, but your real issue is these patio steps. There's a leak behind it. This is where your problem is. And they were right. Once they ripped out the patio steps, they showed me, boom, right then and there. There's your leak. That's what's causing this. Mosby Building Arts are fantastic. They're the right remodeling company. They got honest pricing. They're not one of these companies that comes in and then starts tacking on more money or more billing when it comes to their project. They're upfront right away. They got high quality work done right. Designers with great taste. Trustworthy construction team. Don't risk hiring the wrong team. Call Mosby Building Arts, the right remodeling company, at 314-909-1800. You can also visit callmosby.com to schedule your free consultation today. See the difference for yourself. They got great deals going on all the time. Mosby Building Arts, the right remodeling company. It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Chris Johnston had the full point breakdown of all of the voting for the 24-25 Selke Trophy, and that is to recognize the NHL's top defensive forward.
Yep.
Number one, well, that's Alexander Barkov
What has that guy ever done?
He's done a lot.
He's pretty incredible.
1,363 points. Next closest, his teammate, Sam Reinhart.
That's a bit of a surprising one for me.
837 points for him. Close behind him, Anthony Cirelli of the Tampa Bay Lightning at 828. Jamie does not like that one.
It's fine.
Then a massive drop to Nico
Hischier
from the Devils. Thank you. 477 points. Perhaps the biggest surprise, especially for those that do not like him, Jordan Kyrou. Jordan Kyrou got a point for this.
For the best defensive forward in the NHL.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Same guy who a lot of Blues, not a lot, but a contingent of Blues fans say, this guy, next time he plays defense will be the first time he plays defense. He got a point.
They don't like that, huh?
They just don't see Jordan Kyrou as improved at all defensively.
We would call those people haters, Anthony.
Yeah. Surprising at all, Jamie, that Jordan Kyrou got a point for the Selke?
Yeah. I'm not being a jerk at all here. Trust me.
Surprising that he shouldn't have got one, or surprising that he's come this far?
Like, who gave him the vote? Like, I just want to know, like...
Somebody
Carey.
gave him a fifth place vote.
It was Carey.
It might have been. I would have given him a vote. Strictly for that hit he had in overtime after he turned the damn puck over and he laid the guy out.
Son of a... I got to get this back.
Hell yeah.
That's a great hit.
Just for that hit.
But, like, the best defensive forwards in the NHL, like, you can tell. Like, did Jordan Kyrou take big strides in becoming a more complete player this year? Absolutely. And I think he deserves all the credit for doing so and for being more reliable defensively, using his body more, good stick on puck, good back check, right spot defensively. All that's great. But it's basic hockey defense. Like the best
He didn't
defensive...
go above and beyond.
No, and maybe next year he does, but
There's a step in the right direction.
it was, Carey. It was. So I'm not being negative. I think it goes to show you just how much of an improvement he made, the fact that he got a vote. Now, they could also, whoever voted for him, because they're not all necessarily super intelligent hockey people, okay? They're not all. I mean, look at some of the people that we tear apart on this show that are writing for hockey all the time that don't know their ass from a hole in the ground, you know? But
he's got somebody in mind.
Oh, yeah, Dom. It's fine.
Yeah,
Dom knows.
Dom
He knows. But maybe there's a person who just looked at plus minus and was like, whoa, look at Jordan Carey. He should get a vote at least, you know? No. Plus minus is a dinosaur stat now. Like, it is. Like, how many times have I told you guys that? Like, you can have your, what?
I was going to say, like, batting average.
Oh, okay. I thought you were making fun of me. I'm like, what the hell
making
did I
fun
do?
of him.
What the hell?
But
Sorry.
plus minus, it's not indicative to each player. So like Jordan Kyrou could be plus 26 because he's just on the ice with a bunch of guys who score, which he was. Dylan Holloway scored a lot. He scored a lot. Doesn't mean you're playing great defense. Doesn't mean you're not, but it's not a stat. In fact, there's been some talk of them just eliminating it as a major stat because we have better stats now that can show the story.
Oh no! Don't do that. People like those old stats.
Guys, I'm not going to be your platform to go over and go after
You're
each
going to
other.
be the referee right in the middle.
I'm not a very good referee.
What are you saying, Jamie? There's a better way to do it.
There is.
How dare you?
There is. So there's talk about that. But again, just getting back on topic is Jordan Kyrou did take big steps in the right direction. Also on that list of players that receive votes, no surprise, Robert Thomas received votes.
10.
And a little bit of a surprise, but not totally, that Dylan Holloway also received
6.
votes. So good for them. Good on those guys. But, yeah.
So, any surprise that Robert Thomas got 10 or Dylan Holloway was 6 in terms of like more or less?
I thought Robert Thomas
appropriate?
probably should have got more. I've been saying for a couple of years, and I think Robert Thomas is proving that he can be a Selke Trophy discussion. Apparently, he's far off based on the number of votes he got. A lot of the writers obviously don't feel the same way. But no surprise there. A little bit of surprise for Dylan Holloway, not because I don't think he's a good, responsible player, just I don't think that's the first thing I thought of when I thought of his season. For me, it was a breakout season offensively. He showed off his speed, his skill, his tenacity. And, at the same time, he wasn't a liability defensively, so maybe that's what caught the eye of some of these people.
Going back to Robert Thomas, what does he need to do this upcoming season to be in that same conversation with the top guys for a two-way game?
Play the way he did following the Four Nations.
For a full season.
Full season. Like, those guys, and this is such a weird trophy now. So the Selke Trophy used to be for the best defensive forward. Like, guys like Bob Gainey. These are names that not everybody recognizes. Bob Gainey would score like 20-some goals, but be the best shutdown forward out there, and he'd win the Selke. Guy Carbonneau played for the Blues, Montreal Canadiens, Dallas Stars, one of the best defensive forwards ever. Wasn't a high point guy, and he'd win the award like year after year for being the best defensive forward because it's defensive forward. Now, if you get a ton of points and you play solid defensively, your chances are greater. So back to Robert Thomas is if he, like this year following the Four Nations, he had a pace of like a 95-point season. If he can get to 90 to 100 points in that area and play defensively the way he did, and be responsible, penalty kill, face-off dot, I think he should be somewhere in the top 10 next year when the votes come out.
Why do you think that the NHL has sort of changed the criteria for some of their awards?
Well, it's no different than any sport. Look at baseball. Gold Glove used to be actual good defense. Now it's good defense, but you got to rake at the plate too.
I think it's flipped.
Yeah.
I think it used to be more just an offensive award, and now they're getting to.
Oh, the Gold Glove?
Yeah.
Well, then how did Ozzie Smith win it all those times?
Well, there's plenty of.
I'm just asking.
Like shortstops. I mean, second base used to be an offensive award for Gold Glove.
Well, what I hate is when I still hear the discussion of a Gold Glove candidate, but offensively he's not there. Well, who cares?
Right.
It's a
defensive award.
It's a defensive award.
That's why you have the Silver Slugger Award.
Right.
That's right. And so that's why, listen, don't get me going here because I could go off on like the Norris Trophy in the NHL.
Please do. Go for it. Yeah, come on, man. Let's go.
The Norris Trophy in the NHL is supposed to be for the best defenseman. And yet every year it goes to the highest scoring. Like Erik Karlsson had 100 and some points, and he won it, and he was like minus 478,000.
We should trade for him.
No, we shouldn't.
Yikes.
So that's gotten me a little bit perturbed. If the game is going to continue to evolve, so does the league, right?
Yeah.
So then you add an award. It's not hard. It's really not hard. It's a trophy. They make them everywhere, and you can just name it. I would call it the Bobby Orr Award.
Jamie Rivers Award.
I'll take it. Fine. But for the highest scoring defenseman, who's the best offensive defenseman in the NHL? You get the Bobby Orr Award. If you're the best defensive or all-around defenseman, you get the Norris. And it'd be possible for this one guy to win both. Because you got a guy like Cale Makar. He's pretty damn good on both sides of the puck. Wouldn't it be nice if you had an extra award for him? So moving forward with the Selke Trophy, should be best defensive forward. And they shouldn't have to worry about points, those guys.
Right.
They should be really reliable defensively. But anyways, I've gone off the rails here.
I like it.
One last question, and Grant Francis fan club brings this up. A bit surprising to me anytime a winger gets Selke votes. Do you agree with that?
I'm sorry?
Anytime a winger gets Selke votes, it's a bit surprising.
Yeah, for obvious reasons, because the centerman is, I've said this before, the centerman position is really, truly the only position on the ice that plays a 200-foot game. Because defensemen can get up into the offensive zone and whatnot, but a centerman consistently has to play down below the goal line defensively in the defensive zone and then up creating offense in the offensive zone. So most of the time the attention goes to the centerman, starts in the face-off dot. They play a relevant position in the defensive zone. So for a winger to get votes for a Selke Trophy, it is surprising. Just because, I don't want to insult them, but their level of requirement defensively is less than a centerman.
That's Jamie Rivers, Carey Davis, Andrew Marsh, Anthony Stalter. It's a Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. We're going to dive into Jordan Walker's IL stint and discuss what it means for other players, including Alec Burleson and Nolan Gorman. That's next on 101 ESPN. It's Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, and Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. 3:01, your time check brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Jordan Walker was placed on the 10-day IL over the weekend. And as it relates to other players and playing time, guys, I thought it was a bad thing for Nolan Gorman that with Patrick Corbin, a left-hander on the hill on Saturday in that Sonny Gray game, that Nolan Gorman did not start. Now, I know it's Alec Burleson's also a lefty, but we'll get into this a little bit later on. Alec Burleson is primarily going to be used, according to Katie Wu, against right-handers.
Yeah.
So, because the splits are so good for Alec Burleson against righties, he'll primarily play against righties. Jordan Walker is going to be a regular. He's not just going to be a platoon player, at least according to Katie Wu. And again, we'll dive into that a little bit later. But the fact that Nolan Gorman, even though he's also a lefty, was not in that game against Corbin, that's not great. I think the Cardinals have stated, without stating it, that Gorman is a part-time player. I think he's just a pinch hitter. Not to say that he's never going to start, but even with Jordan Walker on the IL, I think this has created more opportunities for Burleson. Full stop on that. And it's got nothing to do with Gorman.
Yeah, I agree. Look, when you're skipping over Nolan Gorman, who had all this potential to be a big hitter from the left side for another player, because you believe they're better against righties, where you won't play Gorman against lefties anyways.
Right.
There really is no spot for him. I guess my next question to further the discussion with Jordan Walker out is, if Alec Burleson steps in and does a great job offensively, where does that leave Walker? Does he automatically come back to his spot?
It seems like the answer is yes.
It does, but what if they go on a little bit of a run? I don't know.
So this is
what Wally Pip a little bit.
What you just did was open up the door for the discussion that really started at the beginning of the year, when they made the decision to not do anything in the offseason, to push forward here with what they had on their roster. They made the decision that they were going to give guys like Jordan Walker and Matthew Liberatore all the highway they needed. You're going to fail, you're going to succeed, but you're going to have your opportunities. It was really only when they started to win in May that we viewed the situation differently. But that's us, and that's fans. I think the Cardinals have kind of stated their opinion on this. Jordan Walker's going to get regular playing time.
Yeah.
We are going to do the delicate dance of still developing players while also now changing the expectations of, well, we're also competing. That's my read on the situation. Do you guys have a different read?
No, I think Jordan Walker started out, it was bad, right? But it got progressively better, especially the last couple of weeks. His last 15 games, he's batting .273. I know you hate that. In his last 7 games, he's batting .318.
Can we have a truce?
Yeah, sure.
All right. Can we have a
You
truce
don't
on
hate
this?
it as much as I think you hate it?
It's not that I hate it.
There are better metrics that give you,
Thank
okay,
you.
well, yeah, sure.
All right.
I'm with you.
If you want to
You
use it,
guys
that's
just
fine.
make up?
We did.
Wow.
Proud of us.
That's so big of you guys.
Proud of you.
Oh, we're brothers. You know,
Yeah, we
sometimes brothers got a hug.
But yeah, I think he started to. I think he started to bring it on, bring it along.
Bring it in, bring it
Hugs
on.
got Carey rattled.
Yeah, I got confused. Bring it along
Carey's used to fighting.
It's not used to this. You just Jedi mind tricked
I
him.
totally did. I didn't even mean
He sure
to.
did. And he started to get better over the last couple of weeks. So, the injury is unfortunate, but it does allow for other players to get an opportunity to get more at-bats and more games played. But I agree with you. I think it's going to be Alec Burleson, and it's not going to be Nolan Gorman. I'm looking at Nolan Gorman's stats. Nolan Gorman didn't play the very first 2 games of the year. He played in the 3rd game against the Twins. He went 3 for 4. You know what he did in that game?
Oh, struck out.
No. He's only done it once this year.
Homered?
That's the last time he hit a home run.
It was against Minnesota?
Yes.
No.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's the
yeah,
only
that's a
home run
fact.
he's hit.
No, in fairness, he's barely played.
Right.
Well, he's played. You just ain't hit no home runs since the opening weekend of the season.
They should work
the
on his
opening
launch
series.
angle.
You think? Oh, we saw how that went for the other guy.
He should just swing harder.
Yeah.
He swings pretty damn hard too.
No, his bat speed's down.
I don't. So
Yeah,
I don't
see
know.
that.
I don't know what the issue is for Nolan Gorman. But I agree. I think Alec Burleson is going to get those opportunities. But I do also believe that when Jordan Walker gets back and he's healthy in the next, week or so, I think he'll go back in the right field. And I get torn between, because if Jordan Walker is an everyday player, you said that Burleson hits righties better, so they do have Jordan Walker sitting out in some games where there are righties starting. It's hard.
He's not going to platoon. He's just not going to hit against righties.
Anthony, I got a question for you. What would you say the percentage of right-handed pitchers versus left-handed pitchers are?
I would say
80%, 75%?
75, maybe 73%.
Like every 7 out of 10 are going to be righties versus lefties.
You're lucky to see one lefty per series.
Yeah, maybe.
And I think that's probably being too.
Yeah. So it's weird, the dynamics. I don't know how, these new metrics that you speak of, I don't know what they're going through or how they're figuring it out, but it's working, and hopefully they continue. Hopefully when Jordan Walker gets back healthy, they continue to figure it out and go in the right direction.
Ivan Herrera being as great offensively as he has been and as big of a liability defensively has really jacked things up, I think, for Alec Burleson. Because you're trying to develop Walker.
Yeah.
You don't have that DH spot now.
Yeah.
Herrera is your best DH.
I would hit him.
And that's going to be tough to do because Herrera
very tough
has
to
been
do.
outstanding.
I know.
So I think that has been the biggest, under the radar storyline when it comes to Alec Burleson, Jordan Walker, and Nolan Gorman. Herrera has just been so great defensively. Other than that,
offensively.
Offensively, thank you, not defensively. No. And they trust Pages. Pages does a great job with the pitching staff. The pitching staff really trusts
his
him.
arm's not any better than Herrera's, though, really. I'm watching him throw down to second base.
No, he's better.
Okay, not much.
He threw out a runner this weekend.
Yeah, even that was debatable. But what?
That tag was down.
Whatever. I thought he was safe.
No, you didn't.
I did. Didn't matter. Doesn't matter. But the guy stole second before it. He was on second base, and the ball bounced at the same time before. Come on. No. It's not like you've got, Yachty behind the plate throwing. You've got Pages, who's slightly better than Herrera at throwing the ball. Now, calling the game and doing all that stuff, whatever, I know there's value to that, and I'm sure that that's where he's earning his check is there because the arm is not that much better. Yeah, I said it. I don't care. I stand by it, too.
We get a text from the 314. The fact that they didn't trade Nolan Arenado, pardon me, Nolan Arenado
Much
nailed it.
had affected Nolan Gorman. I also think our coaching staff is unable to help him. Change of scenery is what he needs. Do you guys think that the Cardinals would be where they're at right now if Arenado wasn't on the team, if Nolan Gorman was your everyday third baseman?
I don't know. It's tough to tell.
Yeah, who knows?
They'd be fine.
Defensively, though?
Defensively, you wouldn't be better. No. Come on.
They'd be fine.
Let's respect what Nolan Arenado does defensively.
Well, think how many games they've probably won because of their defense.
Yeah, a lot.
A lot. Yeah. But it's just so, we can't play that game.
Why
Because
not?
we have no idea what Gorman would have been.
Well, we know defensively he's not going to be Arenado.
No, that we know. But, offensively.
Offensively, you still don't know either what he's doing.
Yeah.
He might get more reps, get comfortable, and start to hammer the ball all over the field, or he might still be swinging like he is right now.
Let's remember, too, what series was it where Gorman, was it like the second or the third series? Everybody's like, oh, Gorman's got to play now. Because he had a big series against somebody.
That was the Twins.
Yeah, it was the Twins. That was the first series of the year.
I thought it was no.
Carey just talked about
I
it.
remembered the Minnesota series. I thought there was another series in which he had.
Maybe the Angels right
Maybe.
after?
I don't know.
I'll look it up.
I don't think he's had to.
It ain't been a lot.
I know it hasn't been a lot.
Let's see.
I'm just saying. Guy hasn't played a lot.
With reason.
No, Anthony, that was it.
That was it?
Yeah.
Man, that was a long time ago.
That was a hell of a series, though.
It's a good series, though, yeah.
I could have sworn he did something else.
He went.
You're probably thinking of that series 3 years ago against the Dodgers.
Maybe.
He went 3 for 4 with a home run and an RBI. That was the third game of the year. Yeah, he had 2 hits against the.
Boy, I could have sworn
The Braves, and he had 2 hits
Anthony,
against
look, if you like your story better, that's fine.
No. Let's go with facts. Let's go with facts. And
Are you looking it up?
I'm trying.
He's trying to prove you wrong, Carey. See,
No,
there is no truce.
No, I'm not
he's
trying to
coming
prove
after you right now.
Look, I'm not trying to prove
Put your
Carey
mouth guard
wrong.
in.
I'm trying to see how drunk I consistently am. because
He had a 3 RBI day against the Braves, but he only went 1 for 5. He had a double.
I remember that.
Anthony, you don't watch the game.
He hit a triple not too long ago.
Yeah.
But it was a fielder who played that so terribly. The
Maybe
guy in center field ran in, ran back, missed the ball.
Oh, for Baltimore?
It happens.
Maybe you're thinking of the Atlanta series. He had 3 hits in that series in 3 games.
Yeah, he went 2 for 4, and then 1 for 5. Drove in 3.
Yeah. I think you're thinking about that first series.
The 618 says, boys, it's bad when you talk about a player and say you remember that one series and no one can remember it.
It's bad. You're right. It's bad either way. All right. Is a Battlehawks championship game appearance imperative for the UFL? Even then, that's next on 101 ESPN. Is a Battlehawks championship game appearance imperative for the UFL? It's the Fast Lane on 101 to ESPN. Well, Marsh actually asked the question, but I think we can all understand where he's going with this.
What?
The UFL, it might not be the healthiest of leagues. Yeah, I think that the Battlehawks being in the championship would certainly help, but I don't know what you do outside of St. Louis. It's the conversation that we have had several times now. It's not St. Louis. An entire league cannot be held up by one city. Even as great as the ratings and the attendance have been here in St. Louis, with our Battlehawks, it's an entire league. And unless the UFL can capture whatever character and kind of momentum that St. Louis has with the Battlehawks, it's just not going to matter.
Yeah, so here I'm trying to find some numbers here overall.
Hold on, time out. Carey, what are you doing?
My chair.
Must have dropped his meatball.
The wheel fell off the chair, man.
Carey, I don't want to say anything, but if you dust it for fingerprints, Anthony's fingerprints might be on that.
It's not true. It's not true.
I'm not saying he did. I'm not saying he didn't.
Hopefully that holds and I don't fall over. Yeah, I'm good. No,
right.
Wait till the break to sit down.
Trying to find the overall UFL attendance.
It's not good.
Well, I can't find the actual one, but here's the top thing is obviously the Battlehawks are number one when it comes to attendance in the UFL here. They lead attendance with 29,867 fans per game. DC Defenders come in second with over 13,000. San Antonio, over 14,000 tickets sold for their debut this year. So it's not, the numbers aren't great. Meaning, like, I don't have a really solid grasp on it, but when I do see other games on TV and they're playing in like high school football areas, meaning like the stands are only probably 5,000 to 10,000 available and they still don't have it sold out. This is why you have the championship game 2 years in a row in St. Louis, whether they're in the final or not. Because what was the number last year in the championship game? Do we know? Ballpark? I think it was like close to like 30,000, wasn't it?
Hopefully,
I don't know. It's being very generous.
I think the
generous guy, Andrew.
St. Louis is.
I've heard.
Is the place where but it's been that way since the origin of the XFL, the UFL, the USFL. Like St. Louis has been the league, the city that has kind of held this thing together. I think the Battlehawks. I wonder if there's a level of pressure.
27,000.
No, that's not bad. I wonder if there's a level of pressure for the Battlehawks, like holding this thing together. Knowing that you are,
I think the pressure's on Anthony Becht.
That's what I mean. Yeah, him as well. Like
because every week he's talking about bring a friend.
Yeah.
He wants lots of people here for the Battlehawks games, but it is evident that the Battlehawks are what's driving that league from a revenue standpoint.
Sure.
We get a text from FedEx Colton. I texted this in before, and Anthony ignored me. But
What the hell?
why do you guys think these minor league football leagues fail? It works in every other sport. I know in other sports it is tied to the organization.
Bingo.
But for example, MLS is not. It's minor league soccer.
Oh, it's
and
called
it does
Major League
very well.
Yeah, it's Major League Soccer.
Yeah, MLS.
I'm just reading what the text says.
Because it's...
We're not done yet.
Oh, my bad.
ECHL hockey does very well. With NFL being the big dog in every major sports, why is minor league football just immediately a failure if there's so much interest in football itself?
So, a couple things. I'll let you say what you're going to say. The other thing I'm going to say is that it's because minor league football doesn't realize it's minor league football. And they are going for these big TV deals and all this stuff. The American Hockey League, you have a streaming service. You have an app you can go to and watch any American Hockey League game, East Coast, Southern Professional League, the Swiss League. But there's not a bunch of money poured into trying to put on this big spectacle because they know they're minor league.
Right.
And so that's the first, from a business standpoint, that's the first one. Anthony, I know you have yours too.
So Colton answered his own question, which is that most of these leagues are attached to a team. So that's number one. Number two, as far as MLS, where else are you getting professional soccer in the United States during the year?
Why'd you do those things with your fingers?
He did.
Well, no, I speak with my hands.
Okay.
I'm
Finger
Italian.
exercises.
I'm Italian.
Is that
That's all I'm
is this
saying.
the new armbands
All
thing
I'm
that
saying,
we're getting
guys.
to?
Yeah, Predators power play.
No, guys, Gary, you get it. I talk with my hands a lot.
No
so
question.
again, it's the only it's the only place, like it's the only time of year that you're going to get professional soccer
Did it again.
in the United States.
Okay.
It's not like you can find it anywhere else at any other time of year. So that's why I think it does well here in the U.S.
I would agree.
We got a text from the 314. It says
Hey, 314.
college players also make an impact because they are where the league gets their majority of their players. You can get a 22-year-old rookie, guy that's fresh out of college, or a 20-year-old that is fresh out of college, versus a guy that has been scratching and clawing. And I'm not knocking any of those guys because I would have played in the UFL in my first year probably because I was one of those second, third year scratching and clawing to stay on an NFL roster. Fortunately, there were no other places to go, so I had no other option other than to continue to battle it out. But I think that plays a bigger part into it as well. College football is where they're going to get the vast majority of all of their players that come into the new players that are coming into the league are coming from college football.
To the NFL.
Yes,
Yeah.
into the NFL.
Just so that our listeners.
Yes, versus coming from the UFL. You might get a handful that make camps, but they're probably we saw it last year. A few guys from the Battlehawks went to camp for NFL teams. I don't think any of them stuck. Versus a college program, you're going to get more of those guys that stick on rosters as opposed to coming from the UFL.
Plus,
it's just different.
I also think the UFL has kind of missed the mark with certain teams. Why do you have a Michigan Panthers team? You've got the Lions, you've got Michigan Wolverines, and Michigan State Spartans. All within a
Central
3-hour.
Michigan.
You got Central Michigan if you want your
chips.
Hell, you got Eastern Michigan and Western Michigan if you want your MAC action. You know what I mean?
Very good conference.
Yeah, well, Marsh, you're not Italian. I don't think you should be speaking with your hands like that. Scumbag. I see what you did there. But the Michigan Panther. Who's going to care about the Michigan Panthers if you're in Michigan? You've got three teams to root
You got a lot
for
on
right
the plate there. I agree. I think that if the UFL took the minor league baseball approach, find those little cities that it's a niche for them to have a football team. I don't think you have to hit a home run. You don't have to be the Battlehawks, 30,000 fans a game. But if you get 15 to 20, that's how the CFL survives up in Canada. Sometimes you get a massive sellout, but for the most part, they're small. You're in Saskatchewan, Saskatoon, you're in Edmonton, you're in Calgary. Those are not massive cities, but they get their football faithful. They get their 20,000 people in the stadium, and they're just
That's
fine.
it. You're right. Can you hit your 20,000?
Yeah.
Can you get 20 to 25,000 diehard fans that are going to support it, just like you have here in St. Louis? Why wouldn't you have a team in San Diego too? Why wouldn't you try to capitalize on what you did in St. Louis, which is put a team into a city that was scorned by the NFL?
For that matter, a bunch of Oakland. Back to Oakland. Go back to territories
Seriously.
that supported football.
And embrace the, hey, do you want to tell the NFL to go fast lane themselves? Here's your team.
Want to tell the Oakland A's owner or whoever it is, I know it's not baseball, but it's you can show
Raiders
the world.
too.
You can show the world that football works here.
Yep.
Do you guys think that the timing of the season is not good as well? I know it's after the NFL, but it's also, we're watching games in the middle of the NBA and NHL playoffs.
Yeah, it's tough.
And the beginning of Major League Baseball. Now, once the NHL and the NBA are over, it's just baseball.
Yeah,
and
that's
soccer,
true.
of course. It's just baseball.
Marsh,
up until the NFL starts.
You might be
That
right.
probably would be mid-June, end of June, July, beginning of July.
If you push it back a little bit, because I get the idea, they're trying to capitalize on the football, but let's keep in mind at that point too, you've watched Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
Your action on Tuesday nights, of course. You got Thursday night football, both college and pro. NFL now capitalizing on Christmas Day, Thanksgiving, all that. By the time you get to the Super Bowl, even for diehard football fans, there is a bit of a maybe push it back.
Because I'm excited for the NFL right now. I'm in that point right now where I'm like, I can't wait for the season to start.
Yeah.
It is the start of June, but I'm ready for the NFL. Also, some guys that didn't get drafted, they have a little bit of time now to work up and maybe make a team. Once that season ends, someone can see their tape and be like, hey, this guy's got everything that we're needing out of a 50 whatever man.
If it's worth sticking with for like The Rock and some of these other people that have bought into the UFL.
Moose Johnson.
Like, if it's worth it to them, then now's the time to make tweaks after this season, because I don't think you can survive doing the same thing again next year.
Games on the weekend, we got playoffs going on.
Yeah.
Especially in those first 2 rounds.
Right.
There's a ton of playoff games.
So I agree. I think bumping it back, NHL, NBA are done. Your only competition's baseball. It's completely different. You got you got your football fans, and then the UFL leads right into the NFL.
All right. What is your favorite storyline heading into this year's Stanley Cup Final rematch? We've all got one. That's next on 101 ESPN.
Circa Sports Illinois, the app is available right now. Check out the website, or you can go to any app store, find it on there. Circa Sports in Las Vegas has the world's largest sports book. The owner, Derek Stevens, that was his vision. He wanted to have that so that everybody could go in and gamble and see and enjoy all the sports with all the betting available. And now it's in the palm of your hand as you download the app. It's got an old school Vegas feel to it for sure. They got great lines on futures bets, tight money line splits. I mean, if I'm looking at a money line for tonight, Boston Red Sox are sitting there at minus 150. They got the lowly Angels visiting Fenway Park. I'm going in on the Red Sox for sure, right there on my Circa Sports Illinois app. And let's not forget that they have the best odds. Out of any app that's out there, they have the best odds, which means they've got bigger payouts, too. They've got the player props, you've got your parlays, everything available right there in the palm of your hand. So please don't miss out on the action. Download Bet Like a Pro with your Circa Sports Illinois app today and join in on all the excitement. If you or someone you know may have a problem with gambling, call 1-800-GAMBLER or text ILGAMB to 833-234.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Selke Heating and Cooling. The Cardinals lose 2 of 3 against the Texas Rangers over the weekend. They have the day off, but they'll take on the Kansas City Royals tomorrow. Andre Palante on the mound for the Cardinals, and he'll go up against Michael Lorenzen. First pitch tomorrow is at 6:45. Also over the weekend, the Battlehawks took down the DC Defenders. We were just talking about them. Final score of that one, 13-8. They end the year with an 8-2 record, the best in the UFL. And City SC gets a win over San Jose, a 2-1 final in that one. The NHL Stanley Cup Final is set. It is a rematch of last year's matchup. The Oilers take on the Panthers. We'll have that game for you. Game number 1 right here on 101 ESPN on Wednesday. Pregame starts at 6:30. Puck drop is at 7. And we're going to talk about the Stanley Cup Final next with our favorite storylines heading into the rematch. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is brought to you by Selke Heating and Cooling, a Daikin heating and air conditioning dealer.
Andrew Marsh in the Sports Center update. What is your favorite storyline heading into this year's Stanley Cup Final rematch with Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, and Jamie Rivers? I'm Anthony Stalter. Your favorite storyline, Jamie?
For me, it's can we get a back-to-back champion? Can we do that? I mean, there've been the 3 cups in a row here. Can we get a back-to-back champion? I think that, especially in modern NHL times, like this doesn't happen. Like you don't get a team that goes to the Cup Final 3 times in a row, and the back-to-back champions. I find that intriguing. I think because it's such a tough trophy to win, that doing it twice in a row, let alone 3, getting there 3 in a row, but winning it twice, is a pretty damn big accomplishment.
Yeah, you're right. I think it's one, it's a salary cap sport, so it's set up to have parity. But 2, like you just said, Jamie, it is such a difficult award to win. You don't have first round buys like you do in other sports. You don't, sometimes you go 7 games. Other times you may go only 5. Your opponent may only go 5 when you go 7. It can be such a daunting gauntlet. 4 o'clock, by the way, for NHL teams.
Need a new contestant,
Need a new contestant, by the way. 314-399-9646 is their Comfort Service text line. That watching the Panthers potentially, I mean, just getting here three times in a row is impressive, but winning back-to-back Stanley Cups would be
think about it just for a second. 82 games in each of the seasons, and then add up however many playoff games they've played over the 2 seasons when they lost and then they won, and now add them up again. Like, it's a battle of attrition, too.
No doubt.
And we're getting texts about the Tampa Bay Lightning going to 3 in a row.
Yep.
But it's different, though, because you had time in between that shortened season when COVID hit. Then you played in the bubble, which was difficult. But then you had another shortened season, and then they went back, and then they finally had a normal season. It's not as many games in the normal time frame. So to me, it is different than what we're seeing out of the Florida Panthers right now.
Yeah.
For me, it's can the best player in the world win the Stanley Cup? Can he get his name
story
on the cup? He was able to win a gold medal this summer, but earlier this year. Or was it last year? I can't even have my dates. It was earlier this year. Four Nations in February.
Yes.
Yeah.
You remember, Carey?
Yeah, I do.
You went to Jamie's house.
I can't get that image out of my brain. It was tough.
We weren't even there, but you sent the pictures.
Yeah. But can the best player, the greatest player in the world right now, win himself a Stanley Cup? Second time around, lost in 7 the year before. They were down 3-0 and clawed back into that series to force a Game 7. and still ended up losing. Can they get it right this year? I'm on the Oilers side. I know Jamie is on the Panthers side of things. I'm on the Oilers side because I
love superstars.
I do love superstars, but we watched the Panthers lose it in year one, came back, won it in year two. Now they're in there for the third year. We say the same thing about the Oilers. Lost it in their first opportunity. Can they go back and win it in their second opportunity? And you get to face the same team that just beat the hell out of you. Can you go back and win it? And I think that, to me, is the biggest storyline.
Yeah, I'm with Carey. And I brought this up last week, but some of the biggest names in the sport, the greatest players, Wayne Gretzky, Sidney Crosby, to win their first Stanley Cup, did the exact same thing that Connor McDavid has the opportunity to do, was lose to a team that was dominant in their era and now come back the following year. McDavid has the opportunity to do it. Crosby and Wayne Gretzky did do it. If he wants to be in that upper echelon that we think he is in right now, in which he is, he's a great player. He's the best player in the NHL. If he wants to be in those conversations, though, 20 years from now, the guy's got to win a Stanley Cup. Mm-hmm. And this could be, who knows, his only opportunity. I don't know.
Well, it's not easy to get there.
It's not easy to get there. It took Ray Bourque how long to win a cup?
20 years.
He had to go to a different team.
Yep.
To me, it's Edmonton's resiliency. This is a team that has been viewed as and labeled as soft, a team that is not built to win a Stanley Cup. And I think all that stuff has been fair. Mm-hmm. And midway through the Stanley Cup final last year, we were all saying too, like, yep, not built to win a cup. And then they forced a Game 7. So now that they're back, they got a balanced team. They got more mental toughness. They know what it takes. They know what it takes to go to the brink and lose it. I'm really interested in their resiliency to see if they can get over the hump this year and prove to the critics that they are more mentally tough this year. They are more physical, and that they can go through a Florida Panthers team that not only beat them a year ago, but is built to win the Cup.
I got a question. Does it change anything for you that Edmonton has home ice advantage this year in comparison to last year?
I think it changes for sure. Edmonton is a really tough building to play in. Those fans are passionate. They're loud. They're insane. I mean, those Canadians, they've been waiting since 1993 to get a Stanley Cup. And so you better believe that they're going to show up.
And it's different. Last year, you were already down 2-0 when you got your first game at home. You lost that game. You're just in survival mode as a fan. Now, I'm sure Game 6 was crazy as hell, like those fans. But I think the energy that is going to be brought, and you know this, like the fans can give you something that like you can't get on the road. Like there's something to silencing a crowd where it's completely deaf, is no sound because you're beating the hell out of the home team. But when you are the home team and your fans are losing their bleep from start to finish, it's like, oh yeah, we got an extra guy on the ice with us. We got an extra guy on the field with us because now it can help impose your will against the other team.
So for me, this another big storyline. Well, two of them. One is Connor McDavid left the ice yesterday, talking to the trainers, and he left the ice immediately. Didn't come back on. So I wonder where he's at from a health standpoint. Hopefully he's healthy because I want to see the best players play against the best players. Don't want to see a team win because the greatest player in the world wasn't able to play.
Right.
But the other huge storyline is Stuart Skinner, the Oilers goaltender. He has either been like unbeatable or unhittable. It's like the Connor Hellebuck story, where at home he's playing solid goaltender, and on the road he can't stop anything. Yeah. It's not a home road thing for Skinner. It's like a block of games. Like he has 3 or 4 games where he can't make a save, and he has 3 or 4 where it's like you can't get a greased BB past him.
Sure.
So, what version of Stuart Skinner do we get? Because it was actually the same thing happened last year in the final. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden he turns it around and you can't beat him to the point where Florida barely wins the Stanley Cup. Mm-hmm. So I'm just interested to see how that plays out.
And to your point, too, Calvin Pickard is undefeated in the playoffs. Yes. The only reason Stuart Skinner is even playing right now is because he was injured.
Yeah, Pickard got hurt.
What is the leash for Stuart Skinner? If this team goes down 2-0 again, especially losing at home,
it'll depend what it looks like.
How does it look? But maybe it doesn't matter. We saw over the weekend or this past week, probably one of the best USA goalies get pulled in an elimination game.
Yeah.
So at what point do you decide this guy gives us a better chance to win the Stanley Cup? Because if you go to the Cup 2 years in a row and you lose, that's not a great look.
Right.
Ask Buffalo Bills fans about going to Super Bowl all the times that they did and not winning.
That was
3.
harsh.
To be exact. 4 to be exact.
4 times.
That's
4
tough.
times.
That's tough.
Yeah.
Do you guys think that this Stanley Cup final has to be maybe not better, but meet the expectations of last year in order for it to be a good rematch?
Yeah.
Like I felt the second Pittsburgh-Detroit series, even though the first one went 6 games, that next one I believe went 7 games. That one was better. Mm-hmm. It lived up to the rematch hype.
It's going to be tough to beat or outkick the intensity of last year because you have a team up 3-0, then a team come all the way back to force a game 7.
Yeah.
Like it had a lot of emotions going through that one. I do see this going 7 games though. Again, do I see it being as awesome as it was last year? I don't know. I mean, a lot of it's going to depend on the players in the series as well. And again, I'll say for me, all roads lead back to Stuart Skinner because if he's not on his game, it might make it just that much easier for Florida.
All right, predictions.
Panthers in 7.
Oilers in 6.
I'm going Oilers in 7.
Panthers in 6.
Ooh.
6 is the number. All right, it's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. I got a question for Carey
Oh, boy.
about roster building in one specific sport. That's next on 101 ESPN.
Hockey?
Fast Lane on 101 at ESPN. Carey, I was going to ask you this question about roster construction. I think the super team era in the NBA is done. And with the way that the Pacers built their current team, through patience, a lot of savvy moves, trades, they just kind of let it breathe for a while. And now they're in the NBA finals. Is there a current formula to win in the NBA, you think? Or do you think it's as wide open as ever?
I would say that the draft and develop process, and if you need to trade for a superstar, then you do that. But not the superstar to add with a group of superstars. We saw it, like, it doesn't really work. It worked for the Boston Celtics because those guys were all older. Like, they had all been superstars on their team.
Right.
Paul Pierce was a star with the Celtics. KG was a star with the Timberwolves. Ray Allen was a star with the Supersonics and Milwaukee Bucks. And then they all decided to come together later in their career, and we saw that happen, and it worked well. They still had other pieces around, and Brooklyn, they traded so much to Brooklyn. It was ridiculous. But either way, well, that was on the opposite end when they went the other way. But the Heat were able to have success because they had the best player in the game at the time and probably another top 5 player in the game. And then they got Chris Bosh as well, who prior to going to the Heat, he was a top 15, 20 player. And his role had to shift. What happened after that was all these teams tried it. We saw the Brooklyn Nets try it. That didn't work. We've seen other teams try it in other ways, and it just hasn't worked as well. The Phoenix Suns tried it. The Suns, the Clippers tried it. It didn't work. But what OKC has done and what the Pacers have done is draft, develop. You get fortunate with some injuries here and there. Chet Holmgren got hurt a couple of years ago, which made the OKC be able to draft higher again. And you also had Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who you traded for. I just think it's always going to be about drafting and building through the draft and developing guys. And if you can hit on a trade where, you know, people aren't expecting, I think that's how you build the best teams. And I don't think that's just in basketball. I think that's pretty much in every sport.
Yeah.
Like, I think baseball is probably different. I mean, Dodgers being the exception, but I think drafting and developing players, we're seeing that with the Cardinals right now. They have drafted, developed their team, and they're actually playing well because they're giving those guys an opportunity to play.
Yeah, I actually think that I agree with what you said. I think that's the best way to build a sustained competitive team. It is what the Pacers have quietly built in the NBA. I mean, they built a title contender. They showed patience. They made methodical moves. They kind of had a non-traditional approach, largely unnoticed, I think, until now.
Right.
But their current success are one win away from they're 4 wins away now from winning a championship. When they built their team, they didn't do a full teardown. And I kind of appreciate that, especially with the way the Blues have done it. That hasn't been a full teardown.
No.
The Cardinals have decided that we're not going to do a full teardown. We do have some pieces here, but it's going to take some patience and it'll take some more moves to get us to be a championship caliber team. But you know, that initial trade of Paul George brought back Sabonis and Oladipo, and then Sabonis was later traded for Halliburton. Siakam was acquired in the 2024 trade, and then they filled in with other pieces gradually. Miles Turner retained, there was some trade interest in him, but he was retained. They built a current team that is sustainable now. It takes a little bit longer, but if you get enough breaks that go your way, you can potentially win a championship.
So, for me, a lot of the NBA stuff that some of the things that turn me off are when they try to create these power teams. And I feel like that's more prominent than the draft and develop. And there's a lot of misses in that because obviously only one team can win every year. But I'd just be curious to hear you guys kind of your thoughts on, you're talking about the best way to do it is draft, develop, and your sustainability is much. It is. You're right.
Yeah.
But how many teams year after year after year are always going after the shiny toy? We'll go get so-and-so because if we put him with these two guys, well, we're unbeatable. But then it doesn't always work. Like Draymond, where did he go this year? Not Draymond. Jimmy Butler.
He went to the Warriors.
He went to the Warriors.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, oh, my God, the Warriors are back. Well, they're not back in the final, but they still have a good team. But
right.
at one point, Golden State did draft and develop. And then they started just plugging in new pieces because they wanted to try and recreate what they had in the first place.
Well, I just think it's more. Look, let's just for a second, let's not think of winning a championship or bust. Okay, so let's just pause that for a second. I know a lot of people feel like it's only about championships. I'm just talking about what's impressive to me. Mm-hmm. What's impressive to me is when you take a longer time to do it, quote unquote, right, and you build a sustained winner. For example, Golden State initially.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Golden State took their time building what we now know is that dynasty. Did they eventually add Kevin Durant? Sure. But initially, it was a lot of drafting, developing, shrewd moves. They built that. They built their foundation that way. What the Pacers are doing is more impressive to me than LeBron and Chris Bosh agreeing to go to Miami and playing with Dwayne Wade.
Yeah.
Does that mean the Pacers will win 2 championships?
Probably not.
No.
But I guess that's the
I'm talking
ultimate
about what's
argument
most
right there.
impressive.
What's impressive for you doesn't mean anything to some people who just want instant gratification.
Of course. And it is about, I realize you're trying to win a championship. I get that. I'll use the baseball example, though. What Dave Dombrowski has done in Philadelphia is not impressive to me. He has taken a blank checkbook and he has signed the best players. Uh-huh. The Dodgers, believe it or not, are more impressive to me based on what they used to do, which was combine their market and their spending ability with one of the best, if not the best, drafting and developing organizations that we've ever seen in baseball. That was more impressive to me than what they're doing now, which is just signing the top players who all want that free championship.
I was going to say until this year, the Dodgers mainly draft the pitchers, the pitching staff, starting pitchers were draft and develop guys.
It used to be a balance.
And now they went out and signed some people and traded in this offseason, and now they have kind of shifted for the pitching staff. They were definitely always going to go pay the highest position players, but I think this year they added the element of, you know what, we should probably spend some money in the pitching department as well. Mainly because I guess all those guys that they do draft and develop get injured at some point, which all pitchers do. Sure. They all get banged up. But as it pertains to like just any team drafting and developing, that to me feels like the best way to go about it. And then you add a person. It's always, I think it's difficult to add a superstar to a culture that they're not accustomed to, especially if that superstar comes from a losing organization. Like Pascal Siakam is not a superstar, but he also is a champion, an NBA champion, coming from a winning culture in Toronto, and now he's your Eastern Conference MVP because he knows how to win. He knows how to get to the finals. He knows what it takes to win a championship. And I think you want more of those guys that have done it and that are really good / superstar players versus guys that are superstar players that don't really have a winning culture or don't know how to win.
Right.
And I think that's when it becomes difficult when you try to put all three of those, like James Harden, Kyrie, and Kevin Durant all on the same team. Sounds great in theory. And then those guys don't play, and then they don't win. And it's like, okay.
Totally. That is, to me, Carey, that is the difference between collecting talent and building a team.
Right.
That team they just collected talent. The Phillies just collected talent. And maybe they win a championship for it, maybe. But they just collect talent.
Right.
Even the Yankees, the 90s Yankees, who were accused of doing what the Dodgers are doing, let's not forget, they had Derek Jeter and Jorge Posada and Andy Pettitte and Bernie Williams and Mariano Rivera, who were all drafted and developed in that organization. Yeah. Yes, they added, Roger Clemens and eventually A-Rod and some of these big-time players, Mark Teixeira. Right. Yes, they added these big-time players, but those 90s teams that won a lot, they had a core group of homegrown talents that they added to. Yeah. Again, that I think is more impressive than what some of these Major League Baseball teams are doing right now. It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. We'll get the Gauntlet next.
Hey, it's Carey Davis, and when it comes to your home, you want something that lasts. You don't want those fancy gimmicks. Just solid work that'll stand the test of time, and Window Nation has you covered. They have been St. Louis' trusted window pros for years, providing reliable, durable windows built to keep your home secure and comfortable year-round. They know what matters most to you, and that's home security, insulation, and comfort. And their windows are built to keep your home warm in the winter, cool in the summer, and secure all year round. Window Nation has some of the best insulated windows you can buy, and you can save money every month on heating and cooling all year long. All you need to do is reach out to them today at 866-90Nation or visit them online at windownation.com, because right now you can buy 4 windows, get 4 free, and get a free entry door and a pair of Cardinals tickets when you buy a house full of windows. You'll get 0 down, 0 interest, and no payments for 2 full years. Pay nothing until 2027. You need to hurry. The sale ends June 30th. Don't overpay the expensive windows that may not be as good. Schedule a fast in-home free estimate right now with the pros at Window Nation. Again, that's 866-90Nation or visit them online at windownation.com.
Warriors. 4 categories, 1 challenger. Can you survive the Gauntlet?
Brought to you by Blue Note Roofing. Roofing, siding, and gutters. Visit BlueNoteRoofingSTL.com for a free inspection.
402, your time check, brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler, with Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, and Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter, and we welcome in Gavin to the Gauntlet. What's up, Gavin?
Hey, how's it going?
We're doing great, man. Appreciate you joining us. Thanks for listening. Would you like to take on Marsh, Carey, Jamie, or me in round 1 of the Gauntlet?
I think I'm going to go with Jamie.
Oh, Jamie Rivers. All right.
All right, Gavin.
Here we go.
Good luck,
I like
buddy.
it.
Thank you.
Taking on the big dog. All right, Jamie's heading into the cone of silence. Gavin, go ahead and tell Marsh to spin that wheel.
Marsh, spin that wheel, please.
Gavin, what are we hoping for?
Baseball. I'm praying for not hockey. Baseball, please.
Okay. All right. Normally the wheel likes to fast lane listeners, so we'll see if the wheel has fast laned you today.
All right. Unfortunately for you, Gavin, the wheel has spun hockey.
Are you serious?
All right.
I'm dead serious. You want me to show
Boy,
you?
this wheel is a... there's hockey. This wheel is a pile sometimes, Gavin. I'm so sorry.
It's all right.
Steaming pile of you-know-what. All right, well, you got hockey. You're going to be great, Gavin.
I hope. I know nothing about hockey, really.
Okay,
The last 2 years.
Okay.
He said except for the last 2 years?
Did you say except for the last 2 years?
Yeah.
Maybe you get a couple of questions. We'll see. All right, Gavin, 4 questions, all hockey related, all worth 2 points unless you ask for the options. If you ask for the options, those questions become worth 1 point. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Here we go. May 29th is the 6-year anniversary of the boom Gunnarsson goal that gave the Blues their first ever win in a Stanley Cup Final game. Who had the primary assist on that goal?
Thinking Robert Thomas, but give me the options.
Alex Pietrangelo, Oscar Sundqvist, or Ryan O'Reilly?
All right, I'll stick with the center and go O'Reilly.
Final answer?
Yep, final answer.
Question number 2. Which Blues defenseman scored the first Blues goal of that Game 2 in the 2019 Stanley Cup Final to tie the game at 1? This goal is famously known for Pat Maroon chirping at the Bruins bench, "You guys are fast lane," directly to following the goal.
Oh, man, I should know this, but let's go Pietrangelo.
Final answer?
Yep, final answer.
Question number 3. Name the only Blues player with 2 points in that Game 2.
Oh, man. Gonna piggyback off a different one and guess O'Reilly, since he had maybe an assist. Go O'Reilly.
Final answer?
Yep.
All right, Gavin, final question. After going down 2-1 in the first period, which Blue tied that Game 2 before heading into the second period?
Man,
Sorry, a bit of a theme.
let's go with the options again.
Sure. David Perron, Vladimir Tarasenko, or Tyler Bozak?
Let's go Bozak. Final answer.
All right. Let's bring back Jamie from the Cone of Silence.
Yes, this is not going to get it. He does not have to pack a lunch.
Oh, Gavin, you never know.
You never know.
You never know. All right, Jamie is back from the Cone of Silence. How was it?
I was good. Grant's in there doing some work, so we got a chance to chit-chat a little bit about some things, and yeah, it was good.
Did you talk about life?
Just talked about some of the questions on the Gauntlet, like
What?
No, how he's different than Bradford, and that him and Marshy think a lot alike, or they retain the same things. It wasn't about actual questions. It was the process.
Gavin, you don't have to do it. I will file the formal protest for you.
For what?
Here we go. Jamie?
Yeah.
Your category's hockey.
Oh, gosh.
Jamie,
Yeah.
pack a lunch.
Really?
Seriously.
Okay.
Question 1. May 29th is the 6-year anniversary of the boom Gunnarsson goal that gave the Blues their first ever win in a Stanley Cup Final game. Who had the primary assist on that goal? Jamie's already disgusted. He's disgusted with the questions.
Petro was down by the net, so it wasn't him. Was it Ryan O'Reilly? Options, please.
Alex Pietrangelo, Oscar Sundqvist,
No.
Ryan O'Reilly.
Yes! Ryan O'Reilly, final answer, please.
Question number 2. Which Blues defenseman scored the first Blues goal of that Game 2 in the 2019 Stanley Cup Final to tie the game at 1? This goal is famously known for Pat Maroon chirping the Bruins coach, "You guys are fast lane," directly following the goal.
Robert Bortuzzo. Final answer.
Question number 3. Name the only Blues player with 2 points in that Game 2.
I feel like this is a trick question. I feel like it was Carl Gunnarsson. Could be Ryan O'Reilly, too. I'm going to go with Boom Boom. Carl Gunnarsson. Final answer.
And final question, Jamie.
Yep.
After going down 2-1 in the first period, which Blue tied that game 2 before heading into the second period?
I actually don't know if I remember that. Give me the options, please.
David Perron,
Yeah.
Vladimir Tarasenko, or Tyler Bozak?
Trying to remember here right now. I don't think it was Bozak. In fact, I know it wasn't him. I don't think it was David Perron either. I'll go with Big Daddy Vladdy Tarasenko. Final answer.
All right, let's go over these. Gavin versus Jamie in hockey.
Feel great.
May 29th is the 6-year anniversary of the boom Gunnarsson goal that gave the Blues their first ever win in a Stanley Cup Final game. Who had the primary assist on that goal? You both said Ryan O'Reilly. Correct answer is
Ryan O'Reilly.
you both needed the options. We've got a 1-1 tie. Which Blues defenseman scored the first Blues goal of that game 2 of the night of the 2019 Stanley Cup Final to tie the game at 1? This goal is famously known for the Pat Maroon chirping to the Bruins bench, "You guys are fast laned," directly following the goal. Also my favorite moment in that entire Stanley Cup run.
Was a great one.
Yes. Without the options, Jamie said Robert Bortuzzo. Without the options, Gavin said Alex Pietrangelo. Fun fact, both were options. Correct answer is
It is Robert Bortuzzo.
Jamie up by 2. Name the only Blues player with 2 points in that game 2. Without the options, Gavin said Ryan O'Reilly. Without the options, Jamie said Carl Gunnarsson. Correct answer is
Riley was not right. It was Gunnarsson.
It was Gunnarsson. That was
I kind of hate you for it.
that was a bit rough for both of these guys.
Sorry.
Namely Gavin. After going down 2-1 in the first period, which Blue tied that game 2 before heading into the second period. You both took the options. Gavin, you went with Tyler Bozak. Jamie, you went with Vladimir Tarasenko. Gavin.
You have chosen poorly.
You lose. Not today.
Correct answer is
Vladimir Tarasenko.
Vladimir Tarasenko
Big Daddy
is
Vladdy.
correct. Gavin, I'm so sorry, man. You said anything but hockey. The wheel, a steaming pile of crap it is. It gave you hockey. I'm sorry, pal.
No, it's okay.
Thanks for listening.
Good job,
though.
Gavin.
Thanks for playing.
Thanks, Jamie. Have a good one.
You too, buddy.
Good job, Gavin.
right. I feel for him. I do.
He sounds like a really nice
He
guy.
sounds like a nice guy. He said, "Give me baseball, not hockey."
Oh, he said it to the wheel, though?
Yeah.
He shouldn't have said anything.
It's a tough one.
I don't know if it matters.
I don't think it matters. The wheel knows. The wheel knows what you want and what you don't want.
It feels it in your soul.
It does.
You gotta be soulless.
Gavin could have said, "Give me hockey," and the wheel would have been like,
True.
"I know you don't want hockey."
Yeah.
The people have tried that before.
They have.
The wheel knows.
Congrats, Jamie.
Good job.
You win. You got 2, 4, got 6 points. Nice job.
Answered each one right.
You did.
Proud
work.
of you.
I don't know what to think when he starts doing that stuff.
I think he means it.
I don't think he does. No, that's
6-1. What do you
I
want
think
me?
he means it
Yeah. What
this
do you want me to do?
I don't know. It's the way
this
you
time.
did it.
No, it's.
Like, oh, you got him all right. That's good. That's great.
You did. You got
Proud
it.
of you.
It's awesome.
Tired of you.
No, you're not.
Only Monday.
Yeah.
I know.
We got 4 more days of this.
It's going to be great.
3 reasons the Cardinals might be legit. 3 reasons why they might be fooling us all. That's next on 101 ESPN.
St. Louis, listen up. If you are looking to sell your home, you're going to want to make sure that you call Gloria Lou with your home sold guaranteed realty. Gloria Lou just understands the market here in St. Louis specifically. And we all know different parts of St. Louis sell for different prices. But if you don't know the actual price of your neighborhood, your area, your comps, as they say, then your house could sit on the market for a long time, and then you got to reduce the price, and that's bad marketing for your home. You don't want that. Call Gloria Liu. She's going to price your house exactly the way it should be to make you the most money, as well as get your home sold as fast as she possibly can. She's got a database with thousands of buyers in there that are available to look at your listing, and that drives a lot more traffic to it, hopefully creating multiple offers. Again, more money for you at the end of it. So please pick up the phone, call Gloria Liu, tell her Jamie Rivers sent you in. Her number's 314-325-6888. That's 314-325-6888, or you can always visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com.
It's a Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Carey Davis. I'm Anthony Stalter, Jamie Rivers, Andrew Marsh here as well. Sports Six Pack is coming up in about 15 minutes, at least part one. So start sending in your questions if you would. Air Comfort Service tax line 314-399-9646 is the Air Comfort Service text line. Will Leach of MLB.com writes 3 reasons the Cardinals might be for real and 3 they might not. 3 reasons to believe in the Cardinals. Let's start off with the positive, shall we? Yeah. Their team strength is defense, which never slumps.
That's good.
Their offense is holding up despite its 2 most important players struggling.
That's questionable.
I don't know why he would say the most important players.
Yeah,
because he says back when everyone thought this season was going to be a holding pattern for the Cardinals, the primary gauge of whether or not this Cardinals season was going to be successful rested on 2 young players, Walker and Nolan Gorman.
Yeah, I don't know that they're the most important players. Lars Nootbaar and Brendan Donovan have become the 2 most important players, I think, in the lineup.
Even at the start of the year, though, let's be fair to Will Leach.
I don't think that they would have been there.
I don't think they'd be. Yeah, I would have said.
Might have been.
I would have even said
Contreras.
Newt.
Yeah, I might have said Newt. You read. You read those numbers.
I did.
Of what he is and who he is,
The
Anthony.
combination of Juan Soto
And Babe Ruth.
and Shohei Ohtani and Aaron Judge and Bryce Harper and
some of the greatest you've ever heard of.
Stan Musial and
Albert Pujols. His numbers bear it out.
Barry Bonds, Ken Griffey Jr., Tony Gwynn, and Kirby Puckett.
This is why I don't pay attention to those damn numbers, Anthony.
Well, is Lars not hitting like those guys?
Not quite.
Okay.
All right.
Moving on. So elite defense that doesn't slump. Offense is producing despite struggles from Walker and Gorman. And the third, underlying metrics support their success. So despite a poor April, advanced metrics, Carey, showed that they were better than their record. Strong May performance driven by bullpen improvements, Leahy and Matz. Run differentials plus 45, comparable to the Phillies, but better than the Mariners. Third order winning percentage ranks them third in the National League, behind only the Mets and Cubs. Suggests their record may underestimate how good they really are.
That's great.
No, now you like advanced metrics, do you?
Well, no, I don't. I still don't like them. I don't.
Even when they're in your favor?
Them. I don't dislike them. I don't care for them.
Okay,
it doesn't tell me the whole story. Because now, read the other part.
Okay, 3 reasons to be skeptical about the Cardinals.
Can we set? Can I set the?
No, sir.
This story was written. No, I can't.
Nope.
Okay, I'll do it anyways.
Okay.
The story was written the day before the Texas series started.
Oh no! So this is not accurate.
No, it's foreshadowing.
Spot on.
Yeah.
Okay. 3 reasons to be skeptical about the Cardinals. This is why Carey just said that. The offense is still volatile. While the offense is currently performing well, it's relying on players with limited track records. Walker and Gorman, 2 cornerstone bats. Guys.
Come on.
Are still underperforming and unproven over a full season. The offensive surge could regress if key contributors like Donovan, Herrera, Wynn, and Nootbaar cool off. Lack of consistent power hitters may hurt them in tight games and postseason-like settings. Again, this is from Will Leach from MLB.com. Number 2, rotation depth is fragile. The starting pitching has overperformed expectations, but depth remains a concern. Injuries or regression could expose a thin rotation, especially if top starters falter or arms tire later in the season. The team has benefited from defense masking some pitching issues. That margin for error may not last. And finally, they're in a crowded, competitive NL playoff race.
We have different articles.
What?
We do. My articles, well, I took my mic away. My 3 reasons, thank you, to be skeptical. It says the pitching still feels like it's being held together with spit and belling wire. They still don't hit for much power.
So,
did you?
It's kind of like,
okay.
It's all highlighting the 3 things. They don't hit for much power.
Yeah.
The cornerstone bats. Nootbaar, Donovan, Herrera, if they cool off. Yeah.
Well, then the last one is they are highly unlikely to make any helpful moves at the trade deadline.
Well, that one I didn't have.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
So the reason why it struck me is and the reason why I said it was written before the Texas series is because it was a bit of foreshadowing. Yeah, I mean, how many home runs did they hit in that series?
0.
Okay.
Wait, they got 1, didn't they?
Nope, they hit none.
0.
Settle.
That sounds way off with 1.
The pitching still feels like it's being held together with a little spit and belling wire. How'd the pitching do?
Not great, Carey.
Other than Sonny.
Fetty battled.
But overall, if you were to give the pitching staff, take Sonny out of it. You can leave him in there. Hell, still a C. If you take Sonny out, you're probably at a D- for the series. And then the last point that you didn't have, but I had, was the trade deadline, which what moves are they going to make or be willing to make? So that, to me, the fact that they aren't hitting for much power, they aren't, the pitching staff, every game we're kind of like, when Fetty has a bad game, or when Miles Michaelis has a bad game, or if Liberatore, who just had a bad game, we're questioning, is this going to spiral out of control?
Yeah.
I think that, to me, is the concerning part. The offensive numbers have been great all year. The power numbers haven't been, but the offensive numbers as a whole, Marshy, have been great all year.
Jamie.
But the power numbers have not been there collectively. And so,
Carey.
Thank you. I just wonder, if this, we are a spiteful group, I tell you. I just wonder if is it going to come back and rear its ugly head at some point?
So let me ask you guys this: what three things do you believe in more right now?
On the positive side or the negative side?
So we'll go back. The three positives, right? 3 reasons.
I believe in the defense the most.
Okay, but I mean, out of the 3 I'm talking about. So the 3 reasons to believe, here they are. Their team strength is defense, which never slumps. Their offense is holding up despite its 2 most important players struggling. The under-the-hood numbers are all good, so the advanced metrics are all good. Or do you more believe the pitching still needs a little, still feels a little held together by spit and baling wire? They still don't hit for much power, and they're unlikely to make any helpful moves as the deadline approaches. Like what?
Which 2? I believe the defense. I believe 1 on each side.
Yeah.
I believe the defense is going to continue to play at an elite level. The power numbers concern me because you just don't. You don't have and you haven't had one of those guys for a while. It feels like.
Yeah.
So I mean, 21, 22. When Albert and Goldie and Arenado were MVP candidates, like that's 3 years. So I don't feel like we've had that in a while. It's been a while since we've had power.
But power doesn't have to be home runs. Slugging doesn't have to be home runs. It could be doubles. I mean, this team hits a ton of doubles.
But it would be nice to have a bona fide home run hitter.
Boy, you guys are whining today.
Right, no, but think about the Cardinals right now. Like, I keep picking Contreras every game for the home run. And he's not hitting. Like, the strategy was find a player that's going to get you 15 to 20 home runs and just take that guy consistently. Odds are you're going to probably
run into one.
Odds are you're going to probably win because of the points and whatnot. But yeah, he can't even run into one. And that's supposed to be like one of your go-to guys. Arenado, we see he's struggling again. Lars Nootbaar's leading your team in home runs. When you have guys like Gorman, Arenado, Contreras, Herrera, I know he's been hurt, okay? So the long ball at some point has to help you out a little bit.
What do you think the Cardinals are ranked in home runs?
They were 19th not too long ago.
In the National, well, in all of baseball, sorry.
21st.
You're both wrong. 25th.
Oh, boy.
Only the Marlins, the Rockies who aren't trying, the White Sox who haven't tried in the past, the Pirates who never try, and the Royals are lower than them.
Wow. Well, that's not good.
And again, this is maybe that's not the end all be all. Hitting home runs, like it helps, obviously, but you got to have a little more pop at the plate, don't you?
I mean, preferably yes. Yeah. So doesn't have to be home run or bust, but yeah, because if you can put some crooked numbers on the board, it can be devastating for an opponent.
Dodgers are leading major leagues. How many do you think they got?
How many do the Cardinals have?
52.
Dodgers have
115.
89.
97.
It's a lot. All right, we are going to do.
Yep.
What? Go ahead.
No. Go ahead.
We're going to do the Sports Six Pack next. 314-399-9646, the Aircom service.
There's a radio yips.
Sax line.
Just jumped in.
We also need Bet the Board contestants. So it's a new month. Congratulations to Jamie.
Thank you.
Who won the month of May.
Yep, he won
Nice
it before
job.
we even got to the end.
Yep, well done.
That parlay.
Used the parlay correctly.
That damn parlay did it.
Very modest parlay.
That's all you needed. You might have unlocked something.
Oh.
No.
You might have unlocked
It's
something.
Copycat League.
It is. Certainly is. So Jamie finished first. I was second. Carey third. And Marsh fourth for the month of May. So we need new Bet the Board contestants. So if you also want to participate in that, 314-399-9646, the Air Comfort Service Stocks line. But we got part one of the six-pack next.
Cheap, cheap, fun, fun.
Let's get dirty here this summer. My friends over at Dirt Cheap always have amazing deals going on, and don't be fooled by the name. The product is fantastic. The only thing that's dirt cheap are the prices. And right now, pool parties are coming out. I just had one this weekend. Dirt Cheap provided all the entertainment there. Grad parties July 4th. Dirt Cheap always has a ton of stock on these dates. They know that people want to get dirty out there, and they're going to get their stuff from Dirt Cheap. So please get in, check it out. They've got some new locations as well. Fredericktown, Washington, Hillsboro, and a new location coming soon in Wentzville, Missouri. I'll tell you what, you can download the Dirt Cheap app to the rewards and start saving there. You can get a chance to join the exclusive bourbon club as well. And summer savings are happening right now over at Dirt Cheap. Don't forget, you can have the curbside pickup or delivery. Curbside pickup orders can conveniently be picked up in the drive-through area. And I'll tell you what, Dirt Cheap always helps out. Any of the great deals that are there, or they have ideas, or they figure out what you like and they put things aside for you. So please get into any of the locations. Tell them Jamie Rivers sent you in. Make sure you visit them at cheapcheapfunfun.com. And remember, have fun, but be careful out there.
ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Cardinals look to get back in the win column as they take on the Kansas City Royals tomorrow night. First pitch is at 6:45. Andre Palante on the mound, and he'll go up against Michael Lorenzen of the Kansas City Royals. The Cardinals second in the NL Central with a record of 33-26 as they take on the Royals, who are fourth in the AL Central with a record of 31-29. Also over the weekend, the Battlehawks took down the DC Defenders 13-8. They finished the year off with an 8-2 record, and City SC defeated San Jose for a 2-1 victory. We have our Sports Six-Pack coming up next, so get your questions into the Air Comfort Service text line 314-399-9646. Part 1 of the Sixer is next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six-Pack is refreshed by the Finnish Long Drink, Finland's best-kept secret. A sparkling citrus beverage made with real liquor. Visit thelongdrink.com. Must be 21 years of age or older. Drink responsibly.
All right, before we get to our Sports Six-Pack, we've got a new June draft for Bet the Board, and Jeff has got the first pick. What's up, Jeff?
How's it going, guys?
Doing great, man. Appreciate you listening. Thanks for playing the month of June for Bet the Board. Like I said, you got first pick. So would you like Marsh, Carey, Jamie, or me for Bet the Board?
So I got to meet Jamie after a Blues game after having a few too many wobble pops.
Sure.
But
Me or
I'm
you?
gonna pivot and go with Marshy. I did. I had too many. It was the Panthers game.
Oh,
where
yeah.
They scored with like 13 seconds left.
Yeah, that was a tough one.
Yes, it was. But I'm going to go with Marshy.
Yes, we're gonna have a comeback this month.
All right. So
I
Marsh
hope so.
Marsh is the pick. All right, Jeff. Good luck with Marsh.
Heads up,
Thank
Jeff.
you, guys.
Yeah.
Be safe.
Be careful.
See ya.
All right. We'll see you. Where do you think Jeff was?
In the way, apparently.
Forklift.
Is
that what that was?
It sounded like that. So Jeff selected Andrew Marsh for Bet the Board. Interesting selection.
What does that mean?
So you went up the board a little bit.
Question number 1.
You saying the guy that
First question
didn't try?
from the 314. Do you all talk about sports with your significant other?
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Ashley gets so passionate talking about playoff hockey. I'm telling you, she gets after it. And she tries to tell me all the time how I'm wrong. And then she hates that I'm right. It's like, I picked Florida at the start. I'm like, Panthers. She's like, no, not this year. They're not going to do it. They're not going to be there. She's like, yeah, they're there.
So who did she pick?
She picked. She wants the Oilers to win.
Okay. Did she pick the Oilers at the start?
No, I don't think she did. I forget who she picked, but
Going against you?
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I understand.
We have fun, somewhat heated fun discussions. So that's about the only time we talk about sports much.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. I mean, when your job is to watch sports all the time, you got to have a mutual understanding
Oh yeah,
to some degree. But yeah.
and it's important that they like sports
Yes,
too.
it makes it easy.
I'll go home, throw the Cardinals game on. Like Ashley has no problem watching the Cardinals. No problem with the hockey game on. No problem per se with like Monday Night Football. Like it's pretty good about that.
Yeah.
Now if I put on basketball, she packs her things and leaves.
Oh, man.
Stop it.
Wow. Yeah, Chris,
Smart woman.
Yeah, this guy here. This guy.
yeah, Chris and I will talk a little sports. I don't know. There's just so much going on with the kids and the scheduling and what's coming up next and what camp they're going to and all this stuff that it's not like we sit there and talk a lot of sports. But if a game is on,
She's not asking you why Nolan Gorman is not his metrics aren't metricing.
I normally ask her
Oh, okay.
those questions.
His advanced metrics are
Yes.
on the lower end.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, of course we do, but not
Where you get all your
not
stats
to the
from.
degree that I don't think the question's asking.
Kristen, what do you think about batting average in baseball? I don't care. Can you pack the kids' lunch? Can you take them to school? Can you make sure that they have their damn project with them in the car?
Instead of leaving it at home and then asking Killian, why'd you leave it at home?
Because I'm a child.
I forget things. Rachel was giving me crap last night about the Vikings.
Oh,
Pumping up her Eagles. I don't know. It came out of nowhere. It was like a left hook.
That's even better.
What was she saying?
Oh, yeah, Super Bowl champion, and you got a rookie quarterback. He's not a rookie. He hasn't played yet, but still.
Oh, wow.
I thought I was talking to Carey for a second.
She's probably Rachel's probably still walking pretty tall.
Yeah. Oh, wow. I would be too.
She's the defending champ until next
Absolutely.
February.
Probably
100%.
Be close to
Probably
doing
win
it
again.
Yeah.
Probably.
Be close.
That team is loaded.
Yeah. Man.
Good luck.
Question number 2.
Smart head coach.
From the 217, if you caught Jack Caglione's first home run, what would you ask for in return for the ball?
Is it supposed to be a big deal or something?
He's a highly touted prospect for the
Is he like
Royals.
the next coming? Well, hopefully they are dead last in home runs. So I would, if he gets a bunch of them, I'm keeping it. You gonna have to. You gotta-
I would
ridiculous.
give
Pete Alonso,
I would
jeez.
give the kid his ball.
Yeah.
Give his
There.
ball back
There.
for free.
Yeah.
The kid's got tuition, Anthony.
What do I want from the Royals?
They're
not gonna give it- they're not gonna
his
give a
first
bunch
home
of
run. He's not
money.
going to put your kid through
Yeah.
college. What the hell's wrong with you?
The Royals won't
plays
either.
for a team.
Do you think the Royals don't have any money?
No.
They can't pay you for that ball.
They already paid
They can
Bobby Wood Jr. You think they're going to pay you?
that ball
Yeah,
for the
they're
game.
tapped out.
Hey,
It's not the He's used to the Dodgers.
you know what?
I'm surprised. I just, every day I learn something new about
You
Carey.
don't want to go see the Kansas City Chiefs, your Kansas City Chiefs?
They're not my
right
Kansas
there.
City Chiefs.
They are in the playoffs. You don't want to go to the playoff
Only
game?
if the Falcons don't make the playoffs, and it's been
so
7
they are in the
years.
playoffs.
Okay?
They are in the playoffs.
I mean, they're rules, Carey.
You don't want to go see a Chiefs game in the playoffs. You wanted to take your damn wife to season tickets.
I
for the
didn't. I
Falcons.
wanted to take them to Disney World.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I
No
did.
kids on this trip. Let's take Kristen to Atlanta every
8
Sunday.
Falcon games.
What the hell is that? Brutal.
And you know they ain't going to be in the playoffs.
She needs to find out about this.
10 if you include the preseason.
That's about it. They're
So
gonna be in the
hold on, Thomas. So you want me to ask the Royals for
Yeah.
Kansas City Chiefs tickets?
Yes.
For the
That's how this
kid's home run
works.
ball, his first home run ball.
You just going to give it back to him?
Yes.
Yeah, I give back to them.
Come on.
I'm a little shocked with their behavior.
It's terrible.
I'm fine.
Nah, I want to give it back, right? It's out on eBay, right?
For what?
So I said, who is this guy
It's
going
his
to be?
first home run, not his 700.
Yeah.
Now, if he hits 700,
When you have the first one?
yeah.
Oh, boy, Carey, that's a long-term investment right there.
You damn right it
Just
is.
to be an a-hole.
If you're going to be one, be the best one. You know?
Sure.
Man.
Well said,
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
some truth to that, I guess.
I guess.
Be the best.
Question number 3.
The water boy wants to know, what is currently the dumbest stat in each of the 4 major leagues?
Oh, man.
Well, I think we got plus minus.
Plus
for-
minus is a pretty bad stat.
Yeah.
It's a pretty bad stat.
It's useless.
It's not useless, but it's not accurate enough. It doesn't depict how a player's truly playing.
Football, I mean, time of possession used to be extremely important, but now, especially in college where people run, people score quickly, it's not indicative of winning games. Like it used to be ball control, keep the other team on the sideline, the other offense.
Yeah.
If you can manage the ball longer than they do. But hell, if you score quickly, who the hell cares? They can possess the ball more if they're not scoring. So that's the only one I could think of that. I don't want to say it's useless. It just depends. It could be misused in a way that, people think, they had a great time possession. Yeah, but they never scored. It didn't matter. They had 12 play drives and missed the field goal at the end twice.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
What about in basketball?
Plus minuses in basketball as well. I don't think it's as useless in basketball though, because I think it does correlate. Like if you are a minus 15 and you just on the court just standing around, like you're not helping or impacting the team. So I think plus minus in basketball actually is somewhat indicative to how well or how poorly a person played, at least in their time frame when they were on the court. If they had extended minutes, like if they only played 10 minutes and they had probably just in a bad spot. But I don't know if there's a useless stat. I mean, triple-double is kind of not useless, but depends on how many you get. Like, oh, he's got a triple-double. Okay. Are they winning?
The old Russell Westbrook.
Yeah, people used to. Yeah.
Like if you have 12,
I like Russ, too.
if you have like 12 boards and 10 of them are offensive rebounds because you missed the first shot.
Well, that's not great, but you are
following.
You are following it up.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
This isn't tips. This is the league.
Very true. I would say in baseball, win-loss record for pitchers.
What about WAR? I hate that stat.
All right, but I mean, I think that there's more information there than win-loss.
Wins above the replacement.
Yeah, so at least
We saw
you
a
get
movie of those guys. Those guys weren't good.
Shane Falco
The
came
replacements?
off his boat
Come on.
to lead the whoever they were,
Washington, right?
The Sentinels.
the Washington Sentinels to
Yeah.
a big win.
Yeah, I hate wins above replacement. Because the guy that's replacing the guy is usually replacing because he's not good. If he was a starter, he wouldn't be the replacement. If I'm the starter and my wins above replacement is high because the guy that comes after me, the guy that comes in when I'm not playing, there's a reason he ain't starting. He ain't good enough.
Maybe it should be.
He's the replacement. The hell are we talking about? What are we talking about?
I don't think that's measured that way.
How is this measured?
It's just an overall
Another guy that ain't as good as Shohei Ohtani, and you're saying, well, the guy behind, duh. My wins above replacement are going to be sky high. I'm the best to do it. This guy stinks.
I'll tell you who's sky high.
That was a great documentary, too.
All right, part 2 of our six-pack is next. 314-399-9646. Carey will get his act together next on ESPN.
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions. And I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six-Pack is refreshed by the Finnish Long Drink, Finland's best-kept secret. A sparkling citrus beverage made with real liquor. Visit thelongdrink.com. Must be 21 years of age or older. Drink responsibly.
Before we get to question 4 of our Sports Six-Pack, let's welcome in Scott to play Bet the Board. What's up, Scott?
How you doing?
Doing good, man. Appreciate you listening. Thanks for playing. Marsh is off the board. But would you like CD, Jamie, or me for the month of June?
Well, I got to stick with my gut, and I'm going to go with Jamie.
Yeah,
all right, Jamie
let's
Rivers.
go, baby. Let's go.
There you go. So you got Jamie's picks for the month of June. He is the May winner, so you're going with the defending champ right now.
Well, looking at Florida, they've got a decent shot, so I figure I'll go with the defending champ.
There you go.
There you go.
Good idea. All right, so you got Jamie's picks. Good luck.
Thank you.
Good luck,
All right,
buddy.
Scott. There you go. That's Scott. So Jeff took Marsh and Scott took Jamie.
Can we, at some point, not today, we don't have to do it today. Can someone break down WAR for me since it's such a great statistical category?
I don't think anybody says great. It's just how you described it.
Dumbass stat.
The way you describe
You know what? No, because of that.
Replacement.
I feel like
the
I
guy
might be
that's
dumber.
replacing the person that's really good.
Nobody's
It's an
replacing
average
anybody.
guy.
It's not.
Yeah, it's just average.
It's not.
It's an average guy.
Right.
So if you take Brett Hall and put in another forward that is not as good as
No,
Brett Hall,
it's this
his
one. Not the way
WAR
it
is going to
works.
be extremely high, ain't it?
But you're typically not replacing Brett Hall.
He had, okay, you're replacing Shohei. He has a high WAR.
You keep
right?
going to the highest players.
They got WAR next to their damn names, and it's really high.
Okay. Carey,
Exactly.
I'm not going to break this down
Because nobody can.
because I feel like you're not going to listen.
He's not going to listen.
You're just going to wait until
I would
I'm
love
done.
somebody to
And
explain
then you're going to
it.
say it's a dumbass.
It's a win
stat.
above the replacement player.
I can't handle it.
I don't think.
That's not it.
I think it's the average
Yes.
player.
Wins.
It's almost like WRC plus.
Yeah.
Almost.
You've got an average.
You have your average stat.
What's your average?
I don't know.
An average, just think of an average baseball player.
Carey's just fighting right now.
Correct.
Yeah, but
And
you're
then
not
the-
replacing anybody with an actual player, Carey. It's not that.
Yeah.
No, it
It's
isn't.
an average player.
It's wins above replacement, not.
It's an average player.
It's not wins compared to your replacement.
It's an average player. Yeah. What
Yeah.
is it?
What is what? War?
Yeah.
What is it good for?
Absolutely nothing. That's what I've been saying the whole time. Absolutely nothing.
Oh, boy. Question 4, please. Please.
I should have smashed my head off
I think we
the
should
wall.
have just read off what it actually is.
Yes,
Go
thank
for
you.
it.
Do it.
In baseball, WAR stands for wins above replacement and is a widely used sabermetric statistic that attempts to quantify a player's overall contribution to their teams in terms of wins. It compares a player's performance
There it is.
to a hypothetical replacement level player,
Hypothetical.
typically considered to be someone who could be called up from AAA.
What is he celebrating?
I don't know.
He had an actual player going in the game earlier.
Read it again. Read the last part. A hypothetical player who could be
Right.
brought up from AAA.
Yes.
That's not a good player in comparison to some of the better players.
But
In
it
comparison,
is.
you are replacing.
But it is if you're doing
great
a
player,
contract.
But you're telling me you're replacing a great player. We're using a great player in my theory right now. We're replacing a great player with a AAA caliber player.
Well, yeah, that's not good.
My damn number is gonna be higher. So
Of course.
it doesn't matter.
No, well, Carey,
But it's every player, though.
if I'm a GM and I've got 3 players, I got
So
Marsh, I got
basically-
Carey, I got Jamie, and you guys all have different price points, right? So Jamie is 10 million, you are 5 million, Marsh is 2 million, right? And you all have the same WAR. I'm going to go with the cheapest option if I'm going to get the same output. Thank you.
So it's the replacement that you're going after.
No, it's not an actual replacement.
Well, if I'm using that, it's just I'm using that metric
Don't stop. Just stop. You're not-
as one of many if I'm going to go with somebody.
Why would you go with Marshy if he's cheaper?
Because we all have the same
You
WAR.
have the same WAR.
Same
We're all the
war.
same player.
Yeah.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Statistically, we're all the same player.
So let's say you're all 1.3 WAR, right?
Yeah, you should go with the cheaper player.
Yeah, that's
Agreed.
That's
That's not the point I'm making. I'm saying the WAR based on how good a player is. Now, you know what? Question for it, please. What the hell with y'all? They got a hypothetical AAA player, and that's how we calculate how great your WAR is. The hell? Do you hit more home runs than player B? He's better. I don't give a damn what his WAR is.
Well, that would be factored in.
That is factored in.
A wise man once said, "That's a dumbass idea."
That is a dumbass idea.
All right. It is.
Thank you.
It's a dumb statistic.
It's very dumb.
Question number 4.
Thank you.
All right, from the 618, do you believe
Carey.
the finals games should take a day between game 1 and 2 that isn't a travel day? Why aren't the NHL and NBA playing on Saturday?
So what's the question?
Basically,
Because they're getting 2 days between games?
much like the Blues and the Jets did, right? There's 2 games in between, or 2 days in between games. Do you think that should happen between game 1 and game 2, where they're in the same city, so it's not a travel day?
No, I don't. I think
No, that's a distinct advantage of the home team then.
Yeah,
Because the road team's on the road much another day.
Then yes, I think it is. I think you should play, if you're in the same city, you should play after one day off.
Every other
That's
day.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. But some of this stuff too is, and I don't know this to be factual, but some of this stuff is scheduled events. We saw how that worked with Winnipeg in the first round, where we ended up with a whole bunch of different time off, 2 days in a row. Like,
Right.
and maybe they have something scheduled in Edmonton that
They might have the Clear It Camp
They might.
World Tour.
Darn right. We're going to get that off the ground soon.
Question number 5.
just nice.
Now you feel how I feel, don't you?
Oh no, Carey. Oh no.
From 314, do you think the Blues should look into signing Jonathan Toews?
No. Why the hell would you want that guy? Why would you? He's been out of the game for how long? A year and a half now? And the version you had of him a year and a half ago wasn't very good. He's 35 or 36 years old now.
Yeah, no.
Like, even if he comes back and he's an adequate player, to which he might be, where does that fit into your plans?
It doesn't.
Why would you? He's a center iceman. So who are you replacing?
I don't know. We just talked about replacing players. I don't know. We should go.
Let's not fire up Carey again.
Yeah, so no,
You replace him with an average AAA player.
Well,
it could be.
he's going to be more expensive, though.
I wish Jonathan Toews nothing but the best. I always think it's pretty awesome when a player has a comeback after an extended period of time and all that stuff. But it won't be, for me, it wouldn't be in a blue note.
Question number 6.
And from the 636, when is the Nolan Gorman pipe dream going to come to an end?
I think it came to an end last year.
I think it's there.
I think when they sent them back down to the minors.
Well, we'll talk about it more next in our bigger conversation here on 101 ESPN.
Coming up on Saturday, June 7th, the St. Louis Bourbon Society has its annual Bourbons and Brews Festival at the lovely Frankie Martin's Garden, located in St. Charles, in that Cottleville area. I live right in that area as well, and it is awesome. You show up, and you're going to be overwhelmed with the amount of people that are there, all of the booths that are set up, tasting areas. They've got different bourbons, whiskeys. They've got tons of different beers as well, and crafted cocktails. It's amazing. They've got a band that plays. There's several bands throughout the day, a ton of food trucks on site. It really is a spectacle. You're going to love it. There's over 400 different bourbons that are going to be there as well. And it's just an awesome time. So many great people there tasting bourbons, talking about it, learning about different bourbons, talking to people from outside the area. It's an amazing event that you should take part in. They've got two types of tickets, by the way. They've got a VIP ticket and they've got a general admission ticket. VIP ticket comes with a couple extra perks. You get in early, you get to taste some of the bourbons sooner. You get into the whiskey house, which is an awesome spot too. So please get online, buy your tickets now before everything is sold out. And to get your tickets, all you have to do is go to bourbonsandbrewsSTLewis.com. That's bourbonsandbrewsSTLewis.com.
Your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler with Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers, and Andrew Marsh. I'm Anthony Stalter. We welcome in Mike. What's up, Mike? Mike, you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you now, Mike. Thanks for listening. Thanks for playing. So Marsh is off the board. Jeff took him with the first pick, and Jamie is off the board. Scott took him with the second pick. So you, Mike, you have opportunity to take either Carey or me.
Now, although Carey represents the wrong team in the AFC North.
Ooh, not a Steelers fan?
No, he's purple and black only, okay?
Carey loves them too.
He does like the Ravens a lot.
Yeah. I like Lamar Jackson.
What teams do you play for?
Until they play the Steelers.
Well, we don't worry about y'all this year. Although,
I don't blame you. They don't have a quarterback.
they got like 17, right?
Yeah.
That's the Browns.
Yeah.
But it's still better than being a Falcons fan. Let's go, Carey.
Let's go. That was a backhanded. That was a crap sandwich.
Mike, I'm gonna. You seem like you listen. You seem like you listen to Fast Lane.
That's a Fast Lane ass sandwich right there.
That absolutely was. Mike, I'm going to win not for the contestant that I will be paired with. I'm going to win so I beat you, Mike. All right?
And as Jamie would say, thank you very little.
Mike, good luck, man.
Thank you.
Good luck, Mike.
See you later, Mike. That was
I
great.
like Mike.
He attacked. He went after both of you guys.
Yeah, he did.
He did.
Yep. All right, so I think I was the last pick last time, too. This is...
Maybe.
I don't remember.
It's been a rough playground experience for me here.
You know what, though, Anthony? We have one more contestant, and his name is also Mike. So you'll get your own Mike.
Yes.
There you go. Win for Mike.
I'm going to win for Mike, and we're also going to beat Mike.
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of confusion, kind of like Carey in war.
I'm still
boy,
confused.
don't get him going again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Terrible stat.
How will the Cardinals balance playing time with development? So this kind of goes into the Brendan Donovan question that we were asked. All right, when does the Donovan, what do you say, the nightmare?
Gorman.
Oh, Gorman, sorry.
Yeah.
Donovan, we were talking about war.
Yeah.
When does the Nolan Gorman nightmare end, basically?
Mm-hmm. I guess. What do you call it a nightmare?
Well, no, that was the text.
I think it's the experience.
Pipe dream.
Nightmare. It's a human being. He's trying hard.
It's a fine human, I'm sure. Fine lad.
When does the pipe dream end?
Much better.
Here's my question. Why? He's a bench player right now. Why are we so wrapped up into this? Like, well, hey, he ain't gonna work out. Sure, you got to get rid of him. Why?
No, I agree with you. I think the runway may have ended for him last year. He got the entire season for the most part. And that was one of my frustrations. Jordan Walker was sent down, and he was still given those opportunities and wasn't capitalizing off of them nearly as much as I thought he should have. And towards the end of the year, you saw him get sent down as well. So I think the runway for him stopped. I don't want to say it stopped because he's still on the major league team. He's still playing games. But the runway for him to be a starter, unless they were able to trade Nolan Arenado this offseason, I think the runway is done in terms of him being a starter, unless you get an injury or unless he finds a way in his limited roles to add more power, to add more, hit the ball harder, hit the ball, with more consistency. I think those opportunities may be few and far between just because he hasn't shown it up until this point.
Yeah, I get it. He at one point he was a top prospect within your organization, but I think we get hung up on like, well, if he's not going to make it, then just get rid of him. And then he goes and he starts for the Nationals and he has good success, and we're like, well, stupid ass Cardinals getting rid of good players.
Yeah.
You want these guys gone until they have any amount of success elsewhere, and then you blame the Cardinals for getting rid of them. I don't think you need to make any. There's no decision to be made about Nolan Gorman. He's not playing.
No.
He's also not eating up a roster spot.
Well,
because whoever would come up would have the same opportunities, which is not much.
Yeah, but at some point, is there a better option?
You're not paying him anything.
No, but at some point, is there a better option?
Let's talk about this. Luke and Baker, right? Because that's the text we're going to get. Luke and Baker, bring them up.
Well, I'm also thinking of Thomas and JC, too.
But Thomas and JC can't sit on the bench for you.
Not yet. But I'm saying at some point.
When, Jamie? When? July? Or a year from now?
You and Carey today, I'm telling you.
Why are you ticking me off? Mike ticked me off.
So why are you projecting that onto me?
Because that's what we do with the fast lane. We project, okay? Because we don't know how to deal with our feelings.
No, we don't.
And
we
our
get
emotions.
Angry. And you know what, Marshy, I'm tired of the way you're doing that over there.
Seriously, what are you doing?
Seriously.
You're just clicking over there.
The sound thing's going. I think he's lining up like some audio.
What are we doing? This is all we hear from March all day.
That's it. The whole day.
My bad. I'm putting together the podcast so people can listen if they missed this stupid conversation.
That's distracting us, okay? That's the way I feel about it.
So funny. Like you just spun around and started attacking March for no reason. I had a long weekend. I don't need this crap. Marsh got like 6 minutes of sleep. He was out with his buddies. Carey's still over. Carey's not even paying attention.
I'm still on his war.
He's fighting with the text line.
Attention. Because they're telling me that the damn replacement player, it's not about the person that you're replacing them with. It's not the person that's being replaced. It's the person that you're replacing them with. Who the hell? It's a damn replacement. You're telling me
really not.
that the better players have higher war? No duh. When the hell did we figure that out?
Oh, man. Anyways.
That's the problem.
Nolan.
I don't know.
Nolan Gorman, by the way.
What's his war?
Not good. Probably negative.
I can't even find him.
You needed eyes to know. You needed a stat to tell you that? Your eyes couldn't tell you?
Oh, man. You're not going to like this.
What's his war?
Minus 0.2.
So him.
I had to click the arrow to get to the second page to find Gorman.
So what does that mean?
Do you know who's worse?
Who?
At minus 0.6 WAR.
Jordan Walker?
Yeah.
What does that mean? That means Nolan Gorman is a better player than Jordan Walker?
Not by much.
But it means he's a better player?
It means he's having a better season
This year?
than Gorman. Yeah.
Gorman is having a better season than Walker this year?
By a
Oh, this is really
small,
a dumbass statistic then.
by a small margin.
See what I'm saying? You just proved my point. Doesn't work. Throw it out.
All right.
Get rid of it.
It's done.
We never brought it to the table anyway.
No, the question earlier was what's a dumbass statistic in sports? That's how we got here.
I forgot that was
Blame
That was the
blame,
question,
Oh
yeah.
my God.
blame the listener that
That was the
texted
entry
in.
point to this.
There you go.
Oh
Yep.
my God.
Anyways.
We got a text from 314. You guys should just go to break and reset for the next segment.
Who's saying that? 314?
Yeah.
Really? Are you producing this show? Huh?
See?
He already went at you earlier, too. Said, we're already off to a great start because Stalter said, let's get nasty on a Monday.
Well, that was on May 23rd.
Why do you do that?
Today is a Monday.
Why do you do that?
Well, it's context, right? I know Carey killed it earlier, but it's
We don't care about context.
Cherry kills
Just say
context.
words.
It is a Monday.
Good job. Everyone involved. Proud of you.
Anyways, you're probably right. We should probably reset. I don't even know where we are.
Where are we?
Keys to the offense or off season and real. It could be offense for the Blues. Keys to the off season and realistic expectations for the Blues next season. Jamie's going to tell you how and why they're going to acquire Connor McDavid next on 101 ESPN.
Whoa.
101 ESPN, Carey Davis, Andrew Marsh, Jamie Rivers, I'm Anthony Stalter, and we've got Mike on the line. And Mike, you and I are going to be paired up through the month of June, and I've got spite on my mind, so we should be okay, Mike.
That sounds good to me.
Good.
Just
Excellent.
do me one favor and don't base any of your bets on war.
Thank
no.
you,
You know what, Mike? I may base all of them on war just to tick off Carey.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Okay, do what you got to do.
Thank you, Mike. I appreciate you, man. Let's get it done in June.
All right, sounds good.
Thank you for listening. Thanks for playing.
Good luck, Mike.
All right, thank you. All right.
I like Mike a lot.
Hey, he's a good guy.
My Mike, certainly better than yours there.
Wow.
I was just talking about the mic, the microphone.
Yeah,
Okay.
probably is. Mine was falling apart earlier today.
Mine has fallen apart several times.
Yours is not better than mine. Yours has static. Mine works fine. My chair broke earlier.
Ah, that's right. Yeah.
Your chair might be better than mine.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, I don't know. I got 3 over here, actually.
Hey, why don't you ever use that nice wood one?
You know why.
Is it a wood one over there?
No, it's not wood. It's plastic.
Let me see.
This one?
No, the one behind it. Oh, that's,
Yeah.
oh yeah, it is plastic. That was wood.
So there's a wooden chair in here?
I don't know, guys. I just knew it didn't look like the others, okay? Frig off.
Doesn't look
Who's Frank?
Oh, you guys. I tell
All
you
right.
what.
Keys to the off-season and realistic expectations for the Blues next season. Jamie, what are the absolute keys to the Blues off-season? We've got a couple of different scenarios here.
Oh, yeah?
Based on an article.
Do tell.
From ESPN.
Oh, boy.
May 4th.
Yep.
This is a month ago. Projected cap space, $7.15 million for the Blues. 2025 draft picks, 1st, 5th, and 6th. What went right? Every move that GM Doug Armstrong made throughout the summer and into the season. I think
Last
that's
year? Yeah.
I think that's about accurate. The offer sheets they talk about with Philip Broberg and Dylan Holloway, trade for Cam Fowler. What went wrong? Part of the issue was the Blues could never win a game at Canada Life Center. The rest stems from the Blues having a proven blueprint that worked twice but failed to be replicated 2 more times to win the series against the Winnipeg Jets. Generating a combined 20 high-danger scoring chances in Game 3 and Game 4, instrumental in the Blues scoring 11 goals against Hellebuck in those contests. That created a belief that the Blues could capitalize on their struggles of one of the best goalies of this era, whose regular season success had yet to translate to the playoffs. But Hellebuck and the Jets would find a counter en route to advancing to the second round. Keys to the offseason, writes ESPN.com. For starters, the Blues don't have a ton of cap space, but they have only one pending restricted free agent in goaltender Joel Hofer, while center Radek Faksa and defenseman Ryan Suter are their only pending unrestricted free agents. Then there's the Torrey Krug situation. They go into that. He missed the entire regular season, but from our standpoint, we think Krug is done, right?
Yeah.
So, all right. Realistic expectations for 25-26, returning to the playoffs or at least remaining in the hunt for a playoff spot late in the season is the plan. Central Division is still going to have teams such as the Avalanche and Stars that are in a championship window, with the Jets trying to establish themselves as a perennial threat. Meanwhile, the Wild are expected to be an active player in free agency, while the same could be said for Utah after it stayed in contention for a wild card entering the final 2 weeks of the season. So it almost seems like this article is saying kind of status quo heading into the offseason. I can't do much. You don't have a lot of cap space, so just try to be a playoff contender next year. I think the expectations are higher here with us in St. Louis. I don't think there's any doubt about that.
I don't agree with their take on that as far as the status quo. I think there's going to be quite a bit of movement. I think Army knows exactly what he has to do. Now, can he get it done? That's going to be a different story, because there's going to be players that he probably wants to move on from. And it's not always easy, as we know, to find trade partners in a true hockey trade. Army is on record saying he doesn't want to make a futures trade. Like, he'd like to pick up maybe a draft pick or 2, even for this draft, but I don't know if that'll happen before he's able to move some of these guys. He wants younger players, or ish, to mid-20s, early 20s. So I think there'll be movement. Now, the cap space is problematic, but is the cap space a problem if he moves on from a player and does a futures trade? Let's just say, hypothetically, he wants to move on from Justin Falk. That's 6.5 that comes off of your salary cap, or off of your actual salary structure. You add that in, all of a sudden you're up to $13 million of cap space that's available. You can go get yourself a pretty good player for that. If you decide to trade Nick Leddy, that's another $4 million. Like, there's things that Army can do. Do I think he's going to be able to go to the table and just drop, $10 million a year or $8 million a year for Sam Bennett? No, it's not going to happen. Would I like it to happen? Yeah, of course. Sam Bennett would be my perfect player for the Blues to add in the offseason. Going to be a long list of teams that want him, including his current team, the Florida Panthers. So we'll see what's able to happen there. But I think, the Blues, to me, they've got to get stronger down the middle of the ice. Second line center is probably the number one thing. Because you look at the blue line, people are like, no, you got to strengthen the blue line. You don't really. Look at how well you played down the stretch with what you had. I mean, so there's no emergency to upgrade your defense core. Tyler Tucker becomes a more prominent piece in that. Maybe he plays with Nick Leddy as their third pair. There you go. Run it back with Broberg, Falk, and Fowler and Parayko. We seem to like them quite a bit. Mm-hmm. I think you're okay. Center ice position, I just felt like, as much as I love Oscar Sundqvist, you need more offense from that. Like, if Sonny was your fourth liner, and maybe that's ultimately what Army does. Maybe he doesn't resign Radek Faksa, and maybe he says to himself, I've got Radek Faksa, except it's a right-handed shot and his name's Oscar. Mm-hmm. And he drops down and plays with Torchenko and Walker, and maybe you got your identity line there. But there's still a void for offensive depth at the center ice position. I think, for me, you go get a second-line center. How you do that, I don't know. It's not going to be via free agency. We know that what's out there, it doesn't seem like that would be the plan. So therefore, you're going to have your trade. And what does that consist of? Who is it that's leaving? What are you getting back? I think that's kind of what Army has to do here. So to ESPN's credit, Army could just sit and just be like, well, this is what we got. We did pretty good. I think now that we have a full off season rather, of Jim Montgomery and getting ready for next season, and the players know what the standard is and the expectation, I think we're going to be fine. I think the young guys are still going to take steps forward. Holloway's going to come back and be better. Bolduc's going to be better. Snuggy's going to be better. That's where our 5% increase will come from in the off season. He might be able to do that. I don't think he is. I think he's going to want to get out from a couple of contracts, and I think he's going to want to do something that helps the team immediately.
How does the money, Torrey Krug, you talked about that money comes off if he is unable to play? Does that go back into the salary cap, or how does that work?
Yeah, I don't know if they're projecting, with their projections of salary cap on what you just brought up, I don't know if they're projecting that with the Krug money or not. I'm going to take a look here. So let's see. So with the Krug money,
there's $7 million.
It says right here on cap wages with the cap space will be $15.5 million
without Krug.
With
Krug.
With his LTIR money.
Correct. Yeah. Okay.
So that changes the game substantially. If you got $15 million, maybe Sam Bennett is in play all of a sudden. I still think there's going to be a long list of people that are looking to sign him, and you do have to re-sign Joel Hofer. What's the market on Joel Hofer? It's whatever a team's willing to pay him right now. Because if you've got a number of teams in the NHL that are suffering at the goaltender position, and you look at Joel Hofer, he's a young player. Let's see here. At 24 years old, and he's proven that he can play really well in the National Hockey League. He hasn't been given the number one role yet, but to some teams out there, he could be a $4 or $5 million goalie for them. And I don't know if Army's going to go to that threshold.
I don't think you can you? I don't think you can.
I don't know.
That's tough.
I don't know. So he is.
How do you think that plays out then?
Well, I think unless Army can re-sign him before July 1st, get him to agree before he hits restricted free agency. So Army's going to have to qualify him on July 1st, which makes him a restricted free agent and makes him eligible to be offer sheeted. If I'm Army, I'm trying to get the deal done before that so that I don't have to be there worrying about someone trying to pick my pocket like I did to the Oilers, because I would be. Mm-hmm. If I'm a number of teams, I'm coming in. A lot of these teams, too, that are missing a goalie have a ton of cap space. They would love to swoop in and steal a Joel Hofer from you. Yeah. So Army's going to have to maybe, at some point, he talked about protecting his assets by having cap space. it might be a situation where he's got to hold back on trying to go get a certain player just to keep a certain player that's already on his roster, Joel Hofer, and instead of the $5 million going to a player, or it goes to Joel Hofer because he's got to match the offer sheet.
This could be payback time.
Well, then it also depends on the Blues, how confident they are that Joel Hofer is the future number one for this team. If he is, then you don't have a problem matching a high number because you're like, well, he's going to get that money anyways at some point.
Right.
So, but
how long? But how long until he becomes the 1A? Do you think?
Well, Binner's got 2 more years, I think. Jordan Binnington has this year coming up, so 25-26 and 26-27. So if you're projecting, if you're the Blues and you're talking about walking maybe on Jordan Binnington after that season and pivoting to Joel Hofer, it's really only 2 seasons now.
Mm-hmm.
So if you sign Joel Hofer, let's say somebody puts an offer sheet of 3 years or 4 years at $5 million a year, you're overpaying a little bit on the front end, but probably market value on the back end. But again, that's thinking that he is the guy.
Right.
And thinking that you're not moving on from, or that you are moving on from Jordan Binnington.
Sure. It's a little tricky.
It is.
Interesting offseason ahead for the Blues. It's not the. We'll have to see what happens. Bet Board is next. Our first selections for the month of June. We've got the draft done. Marsh went first overall today.
He did.
Jeff selected Marsh. Scott went with Jamie. Mike burned CD and I, and then took CD. And the other Mike was basically left with me. But I feel like he was confident. Marsh. Feel like he was confident. He doesn't. Marsh doesn't care. All right, Bet the Board next on 101 ESPN.
At all.
You got to check out Underdog Fantasy all baseball season long. Underdog, the leading place to make all your sports selections, and you can play now in our state in Missouri. So millions of fans have already won billions making plays on Underdog, and you could be next. It's super easy to play. It's a lot of fun. Download the app. Choose whether or not a player will go higher or lower on their stats. So if you're looking at a Cardinals game or you're looking at one of the upcoming matchups coming up here, whether or not you like a matchup or not, it's perfect to play at Underdog because if you do like the matchup, you can choose higher on home runs or strikeouts or total bases. If you hate the matchup for a certain player, like a pitcher, go lower on their strikeouts. And playing on Underdog, you could, once your entry feels good, you can play for as little as $1. If you get everything right, you can win up to 1,000 times your money. Download the Underdog app, sign up with my promo code Anthony to unlock a special offer of up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit. Again, that promo code is Anthony. Must be 18 plus and present in the state of Missouri, in our state of Missouri. Terms apply. See underdogfantasy.com/web/deposit-match-terms. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Selke Heating and Cooling. The Cardinals are off today. They'll take on the Kansas City Royals tomorrow. Andre Palante on the mound going up against Michael Lorenzen. First pitch will be at 6:45. If you have missed anything from today's show, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's 101 ESPN mobile app. Just head to the podcast page, and you'll find all of our shows there, and it's all brought to you by the Schaefer Door Company. We have Bet the Board. It is the first Bet the Board of the month. We'll see what defending champion Jamie Rivers has in store. We'll see if Anthony Stalter can beat Spite, or if Carey Davis has another hits, runs, RBIs play. We'll see what happens in Bet the Board next, right here in the Fast Lane. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is brought to you by Selke Heating and Cooling, a Daikin heating and air conditioning dealer.
Congratulations to our very own Jamie Rivers for winning the month of May.
It's birthday month.
In Bet the Board. His birthday month. He turned 50 in May.
Weird.
And, I thought our birthdays were all in March.
You had a birthday party in May.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. Scheduling conflict.
Nice.
Thought you just got confused with the M.A.
Maybe.
March.
Yeah.
May.
Whatever. Tomato, Carey.
All right, so congrats to Jamie. So Jamie has the first pick this month in Bet the Board for his guy, Scott.
All right, headed to the Diamond. Boston Red Sox hosting the Angels. Minus 140 on the money line. Sign me up. Red Sox, please.
Boston Red Sox, huh? Minus 148, he says.
Oh, it's minus 150 now, sorry.
Uh-oh. All right, locked in at 150.
Yeah.
Marsh, am I next?
Yes.
Give me the over 9.5 in the Mets-Dodgers game tonight. Over 9.5. The over's 8-2 in the last 10 Dodgers-Mets games. Of course, the unders hit the last two games, but to hell with that. Give me the over 9.5.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I'm going to go with that game as well. Give me Juan Soto.
Runs,
1.5.
hits.
Runs. All right, well, minus 110.
Throw a strikeout in there, too.
He might strike out. As long as he hits a home run, he's
That's
good.
a tough year, man.
Yeah, worry about it.
Give me
His war is great.
That's really
Don't
hot.
you dare. Go ahead,
Give me
Marsh.
what?
LSU in the Baton Rouge Regional, taking on Little Rock in the regional championship game. LSU on the money line is minus 1850. If you get rid of the 8, I'll take them on the money. No, I'm kidding. Give me Little Rock plus 5.5 at plus 105. That just changed. Why did that just change?
Because you just said it.
Why did that just change? I did not like that the minus 5.5 for LSU and Little Rock's plus 5.5 were the same numbers. And now Little Rock just went to plus odds.
Oh, boy.
LSU went to minus odds. I don't like that in real time.
Yeah, Little Rock is
Something must have just happened.
LSU is minus 5.5.
and Little Rock is plus.
Is plus 5.5.
Yes. Yeah.
What
but
were you hoping for?
Well, the odds were the same, and now they have changed.
Yeah, it must have been
They were both minus 115.
Oh, I see.
But now,
You talking about the juice?
yeah. I'm going to stick with it, though. Little Rock just beat LSU 10-4. So now they did lose 7-0 in their first appearance. However, I think tonight's going to be a tough game. It's going to be a tight game. LSU still wins, but Little Rock covers.
5.5 on a baseball game?
That feels like a lot.
I'm looking at it right now. It's 5.5.
That's a lot for
and
baseball.
Marsh is getting plus 116 juice on that. Wow. 5.5.
That's interesting.
I'll probably get shelled tonight.
No, Marsh. Come on, man. You got to be positive. All right? Got to be positive. Jamie's Lions are... They don't look good here at all. Starting to fall apart.
Oh, the guy retired?
Frank Ragnow, four-time Pro Bowler selection for the Lions, has announced his retirement. Rookie Tate Ratledge, second-round pick out of Georgia, is the most likely replacement for Ragnow. Their offensive line starting to take a hit.
They're fine.
Well, we talk about this all the time. When you are a team that has postseason success, but you don't win the championship, you're playing more games, you're adding more time to the things that you're doing, more hits are occurring.
Fall apart quicker.
You do. I was intrigued that I was reading the story, and he just said he tried. Like, he was trying to get his mind and body prepared for the upcoming season, and May hit, June hit, you're like, I'm not going to be able to do it. It's unfortunate for the team because obviously had they known that, they could have done something during the draft, during free agency.
They had to have known something, though, because they did take a center in the second.
But you're you did. But are you probably with the expectation that he would have
the war doesn't equal
correct?
They're not the same
replacement
player.
is not going to be nearly as good. This is all I'm trying to get y'all to understand. The damn replacement is a replacement for a reason.
I hear you.
Because he ain't a starter.
I'm with you.
That's all I'm saying.
Well,
he knows
I actually understood him.
He understands. That's all I've been saying. Damn war. Okay, either way. But no, you would have hoped that, even I think you drafted with the expectation of, okay, this person is going to learn for a year or two. Not he's going to be thrusted into a starting position day one of OTAs and training camp. And
things
now
have changed.
Yeah, quickly. So even when he was drafted, he was he learned the system, got a veteran in front of me. Nope, son, you're the starter now.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got to block defensive tackles that are trying to get to your quarterback.
Good luck, man.
Good luck, man. It's tough.
Yeah.
So, I think, but I thought about, Jamie, I thought about you, I thought about me, I thought about, like, when your body just says no mas.
Oh, yeah.
Like, and listening to reading the article, he's just like, my body can no longer sustain all of the things that it has sustained over the last decade of NFL football.
Yeah, he said, I've tried to convince myself that I'm feeling good, but I'm not, and it's time to prioritize my health and my family's future. He appeared in 47 Alliance 51 regular season games since 2022, but has dealt with a myriad of injuries throughout his career.
He didn't even get a decade in. He got 8 years in, I believe.
Wow.
Which is not terrible, but yeah.
Well, like you're saying, Carey, I mean, all the extra games, they start to add up. You're playing a bunch of playoffs. That's why the Falcons have decided to pass on the playoffs the last 7 years.
I don't think that's
getting ready.
They're taking care of their guys.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think that's why.
It's smart. It's smart when you think about it.
I don't think that's why they did that.
I'll look into it. Patriots OC Josh McDaniels said Stephon Diggs has reported to Monday's OTAs. Bit of a social media buzz surrounding Stephon Diggs. Him on a boat.
Yeah.
With some ladies.
Having
with
fun.
some ladies.
Yeah, a little ladies having this offseason.
Looked like a good time.
Package of some sort of pink substance. Could have been bubble yum. I don't know.
Fun dip.
Could have been fun dip. But yeah, he reported.
Good. It's so good.
He's still recovering from a torn ACL that he suffered in Week 8 last season, and he's unlikely to be on a playing field before training camp.
I saw him doing some workouts. It looked like his knee is healing pretty well.
On the boat?
No, he was on the field.
Oh.
And I'm looking through here, and Aaron Rodgers still has not signed with Pittsburgh.
Anthony, we're not worried about it. I'm kind of worried about it.
You should be. Thank you, Carey.
I don't know.
You've been a little too calm for us here.
Yeah.
Mason Rudolph is about to be your starting quarterback.
That is unbelievable, by the way.
It's unacceptable is what it is.
I would have. I'm just going to have to let it play out. We'll see what Will Howard looks like. Mason Rudolph, I know what he looks like. And if I'm the Steelers, I would probably see what Will Howard has in the tank as opposed to what old Mason has.
Carey, do you know what you're saying here?
What am I saying?
You're saying you might as well see what you have in a 6th-round rookie.
Yeah.
You're
like
really
Tom
lowering
Brady.
your
You're the
standard.
Steelers.
Like Tom Brady.
No. I don't think it's going to be the same
exactly what I'm
situation.
saying.
Well, they didn't put
He's a
their eggs in
national
that
champion.
basket. Tom Brady emerged after an injury.
He did.
Yeah.
And what
There's
happened?
no injury here.
He's your favorite player.
Yeah, but it's
They are clearly injured there.
Third-round pick. We'll get it done for Kirk Cousins. Let's go. Third-round
The
pick.
hell would we give y'all a third-round pick for
You
Kirk?
need a quarterback.
Why would we give you a 6th round?
No.
What the hell would you give me a 3rd round for?
Why would we give
taking
you
the whole
Kirk
salary?
Cousins for a 6th round?
You taking the whole salary?
Of course not. You're going to take care of that.
Oh, hell no. Why would I?
Well, good luck beating the Ravens
With Kirk
next
Cousins.
season.
Thank you.
With
I agree.
Mason Rudolph.
yeah, it's Carey. Your team's screwed.
Nah. Aaron Rodgers will be there. I don't know how it's going to look, but he'll be there. Yeah.
I don't understand why. What would be the reason why he wouldn't have signed yet?
I don't think he wants to do all. I don't think he wants to be obligated to be there if he's
So your
signing.
quarterback that you're going to sign,
If he hasn't seen the playbook,
he don't want to be there.
I'm sure he has.
This is a great idea.
Carey.
Or you could have Kirky Football, who loves to play.
He doesn't do it well, though. Not well enough.
Got me there. I don't know what to tell you.
If I'm going to take Kirk Cousins, I might as well ride with Mason Rudolph and Will Howard.
I don't know.
If I'm
That
being
Marsh
honest.
tell him. Kirky won you some games, huh? Regular season.
Yeah, you want the swag on the plane.
Yep.
No, I'm okay.
Right?
That was nice.
yeah.
That was good.
The chicken tenders, he feeds his kids.
He feeds his kids.
You guys. You're not going
As
to be able to
opposed
sell
to
me
not
Kirk.
feeding his
You're
kids?
not going to be able to sell me Kirk Cousins.
Walk in his trap,
Hey,
take
throw
over the
things in
trap.
there.
They're upsetting me.
Carey's throwing things in here now.
They're upsetting me.
Mm-hmm.
Giving me this Kirk Cousins spiel.
Watch the This is what Marsh said. Watch the Netflix series, Quarterback. You'll love Kirk. Jamie did
you
too.
hated him after you watched it.
I know.
Yeah.
Because
I
none of
liked
you
him
saw
way more
what
than I
I
liked
saw.
Mahomes after that. Ah, that guy's annoying.
He's a winner.
He is a winner. He's
That's all I
annoying.
care about.
All right. What we learned, 3
You're not
stars of the
going for
day.
me with him.
Coming right in your ear holes next on 101 ESPN.
You wouldn't trust a butcher to babysit your pet pig.
you missed anything from today's show, you can always download the podcast, available at 101ESPN.com or on the Dobbs Tower Notice Center's 101 ESPN mobile app. All the podcasts, of course, brought to you by Shaver Door Company. Time to find out what everybody learned today. Carey, what did you learn today?
I learned that WAR is the most useless stat in all of sports. No one can define it. It's about a hypothetical AAA player that doesn't exist. You're essentially telling me that the better players have the higher WAR. Duh. They're better. Why wouldn't they? You're just saying, you're just another way to make the good feel good and the bad feel bad is essentially what it is. Your WAR is low. You're not good as Shohei. No duh. You don't think I already knew that? I got a minus 0.6 WAR. Yeah, thanks. I'm trying. These people, the hell are we talking about?
Okay, Jamie.
Yeah, I learned a couple things today. One, if you literally want to just sidetrack Carey for half a show, you just have to bring up WAR.
There you go.
And everything else that we talk about will go back to WAR. There'll be several text messages to the text line about WAR. They'll be Googling of said WAR stat. Yeah, pretty much sends Carey into a spiral. I also learned that Carey is such a crabby old man that he won't give back. He won't give back the damn baseball to a kid's first home run.
Right.
He's a good kid, man.
Now he's gonna hold him ransom.
Yeah, hold ransom and the club and the city, everything.
Yep.
My fault that the ball landed right here. Nobody even knows I have it.
Marsh, what did you learn today?
I learned that I'm not allowed to do my damn job without getting a response or being called an a-hole or whatever by Jamie.
I called Carey an a-hole.
Yeah, not
He
you.
did actually call me that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bradford called you that.
That was the nicest thing he said.
Yeah. While I didn't learn this today, it, of course, was reaffirmed in the Gauntlet that if you decide to put your goals, your dreams, your aspirations for what category you want, the wheel will take that and shove it right down your face, right back in your face, and then take all of your nightmares, the things you don't want, pipe dream, and just present it right there. Boom. Where are the freaking nightmares?
That's what the wheel says.
Okay, Gavin today said, you know what? I'll take baseball, please. I don't want hockey. And the wheel goes, well, watch this.
Hold my beer.
Hockey. So, just the wheel is the true a-hole.
Yes.
Marsh,
Yes.
what do you got for us?
From the 618, I would have to say the war of the fast lane is plus 1,000 because there is definitely no replacement for you guys.
Thank you.
Especially CD.
Yes.
There we go.
Is that good? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
You know that's good.
Who knows? Right?
You know this is AC.
You know who this
Of
is.
course, there's a hypothetical college kid doing radio
There
in
you go.
college right now that
Just going to replace
might
me.
replace. Yeah.
Depending on what the numbers are, we'll look into it.
All right,
Yep.
let me know how that goes.
From the 573, finally watching on YouTube for the first time. Great to see Jamie, CD, and Marshy. But why is Gerard Butler calling himself Anthony Stalter? I'll take it.
Yeah. Could be way worse.
Could be way worse.
Could be Nick Sirianni.
Super Bowl champion. Hey,
Make sure you add that.
hey, put some respect on his name, okay?
You're right. My bad.
Next thing you know, you're going to be calling him the Olive Garden version of an Italian.
Yeah.
That's just not right.
Somebody called him that.
I'll take Gerard Butler. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Mahomes Longbody, I learned that Bradford is Jamie's new Karen, telling him about the Gauntlet questions in the cone of silence. That was actually Grant.
Yeah, that was Grant.
Grant didn't tell me about the questions. He told me how they get them.
All you said was we were talking about Gauntlet questions.
Yep.
And then you come in here and beat a guy.
It started out
6-1.
It started out when I talked about certain questions like dates and things that always throw me for a loop, things I can't remember. I'm like, Marshy does really good with all those little like weird detail ones. And Grant says, oh, I'm the same way. I remember things like that. And so that's what we're talking about. So whatever. Fastlane yourself.
All right, fair enough. Thank you.
Is that for us? Or
Everybody.
I think it was for
Whoever
us,
wants
yeah.
a bite.
That's It's not nice.
Okay.
Time for the 3 stars, right?
Yes.
It's time for the Fast Lane's 3 Stars of the Day. Presented by Circus Sports Illinois. Sports betting the way it should be.
All right, our 3rd star of the day goes out to the death of context.
Yep.
Yeah.
About 226, right, Marsh?
Early.
226.
It was
early.
Who killed it?
Yeah. Carey.
Oh.
That was you, Carey.
Yep, that was you.
Our 2nd star of the day goes out to Mike. Now that we had 2 Mikes on the show today, so whichever one that you feel deserves a 2nd star.
Good call.
It's up to you.
It's up to you. It's a
And you.
choose your own adventure.
Of course.
With Mike.
The only one clapping for Mike?
Oh, yeah, Mike. No, yeah, Mike. Yeah.
I don't get that. I just don't get it.
He doesn't care about his mic,
Carey
clearly.
doesn't care. He's still fighting with somebody on war.
He's looking up war.
Yeah.
I was, actually.
Yeah.
Still.
And speaking of
Well,
that,
Mike was Mike
now he's
gave me a crap sandwich. And then he chose me. I mean, I'm thankful. But he did kind of.
He wanted to poke the bear a little
He did.
bit.
Yeah.
Maybe get me going.
Motivate you.
Yeah. And you followed up with a Juan Soto bet.
Whew. That guy can't play. What's he done?
Not much lately.
World Series title and
There you go.
nearly won another one last year. Go ahead, Marsh.
war is our 1st star of the day.
It's got to be. It's got to be.
What is it good for?
First star, obviously.
Nothing.
Distracting
Say it
Carey. Presenting certain values to players, especially similar players.
You watch your mouth. You watch your mouth.
What?
You know, it's about to set him off again.
Similar players.
Yeah, similar players.
Hypothetical AAA players.
Not like Shohei Ohtani versus a replacement.
Why? Because he's really good?
Yeah, everybody knows that already.
Duh. So why I need a damn stat? I need
You know
a
what,
damn
Jamie,
stat to
you're
tell
right.
me.
I apologize. It's on me. The funny thing was, and this literally happened, Carey chased me down the hallway to complain about the
I was
stat
asking. I needed to
when
know.
we were in the break room together.
I followed him.
He followed me.
You trying to
Aggressively.
get water?
Yeah.
And the hell with that water. Explain it.
And you know, too, like, you got to get to our water fountain to refill the water.
Yeah, he gets a little area
Carey
there.
put himself right there where I couldn't get past him.
He's 3-point stance.
Yeah. All right, that'll do it for us. For Andrew Marsh, for Carey Davis, for Jamie Rivers, I'm Anthony Stalter. See you.